Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Admiral Aokiji joins Straw Hat Pirates? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the QPython for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. Link in the description. Night had fallen over the Grand Line and the moon shined down on the island of Jaya, where a loud commotion was emanating from Mock Town. What's going on? Lily, the former arm candy of the Bellamy Pirates, asked as she pushed through the crowd. Lily had quit the crew after the Straw Hats' last encounter with the Bellamy Pirates, but her disheveled appearance showed that she hadn't gotten used to living without the luxury of being a Bellamy pirate. Her blonde hair, which had previously been perfectly groomed, was now dirty and messy. Lily's fancy fur coat was dirty and worn. Her fancy white blouse was still stained from when Nami threw her through a table during their bar fight. Lily may have left the crew, but it had only been a full week and her appearance had already deteriorated to the point where she now looked like a slob. Lily worked her way through the crowd and eventually found her former crewmates Eddie, Rivers, Hewitt, Ross and Murat standing together. "What's going on?" Lily asked again. "Humph," Murat scoffed and turned her nose up at her former crewmate's horrible appearance. "Tell me," Lily insisted. "Bellamy and Sarquis are fighting each other," Rivers stated. Bellamy and Sarquis stood in the middle of the street surrounded by the crowd. Bellamy's arm had been cut and was freely bleeding, and Sarquis' big kukri blade was coated in blood. It was a clear sign that Sarquis had been the one responsible for Bellamy's wound. But the fact that the two pirates were staring at each other in complete and utter horror made it clear that this was something that they didn't want to do. "I can see that," Lily stated, "but why? Isn't someone gonna stop them?" "Please!" Sarquis screamed. "No more! Why are you making me do this?" "I've never seen Sarquis plead like that," Lily said as she stared at her ex-boyfriend. "Why, you ask?" came a voice. "Why am I making you?" The crowd turned and saw a man seated on a barrel, which gave him a perfect view of the fight. The man was instantly recognizable. Tall, tan and blonde, dressed in flamboyant clothing which included an unmistakable pink feathered coat. "Sarquis, Bellamy," the man continued, "I'm making you do this because you've made a mockery of this symbol." The pink-clad man turned and slapped the white Jolly Roger on the wall behind him. It wasn't normal skull and crossbones, it was a smiley face with a line going through it. It was the same symbol that Sarquis had tattooed on his chest and the same symbol that Bellamy practically worshipped. It was the mark of the Don Quixote pirates. That's Doflamingo, Eddie realized as everyone stared at the man in shock. "Don Quixote Doflamingo, the warlord?" Murat questioned. "His bounty used to be over 300 million, Rivers stated. "What's he doing here?" Hewitt wondered. "Fufufufu," Doflamingo chuckled. "Does the Sky Island exist or not? Is the legendary City of Gold real or not? The truth doesn't really matter now, does it? You play the opposing sides off each other to twist them to your will. That's what I told you, right, Bellamy?" "He's here to punish them," Lily realized. "You've really let me down," Doflamingo said, "and I've got zero tolerance for useless punks like you." Doflamingo raised his hand and flicked his fingers like a puppet master. "No! Not again!" Sarquis cried as he involuntarily raised his knife up over his head. "My body's moving on its own, I can't control it." Bellamy stared silently at his first mate and stood rooted in place. "Please! No!" Sarquis hollered as he swung his big knife down at his captain. Slish! Sarquis slashed Bellamy across the chest, and he crashed to the ground. "Bellamy!" Eddie, Rivers, and Hewitt shouted in alarm. "Ugh, please," Bellamy groaned. He was already splayed out on the ground, so it didn't take much for him to push himself up onto his hands and knees in a proper groveling position. "Just give me one more chance to set things right, I swear we'll follow your every command." "Bellamy!" Rivers gasped. "Let it go, Bellamy," Eddie advised. "I might have lost, but I never once acted against your principles," Bellamy insisted. "I swear on your symbol. Please! That's just how I do things. I had to wipe out those weaklings and their foolish beliefs before they could reach you. Maybe then I could someday reach your level." Bellamy's eyes were locked on the ground. He was so caught up with his plea that he didn't see Doflamingo flick his fingers. He didn't see Sarquis involuntarily raise his big knife over his head for another attack. Lily did. They made it, you know, she blurted out before she could stop herself. Suddenly everyone was staring at her. Even Doflamingo. Lily swallowed. I went to the old man's house. They were celebrating and claimed Straw had reached the sky and that he was the one that rang the bell we all heard a few days ago. That's ridiculous, Bellamy hissed. Fuffufufia. Doflamingo let out a loud laugh. He got off of his barrel and walked over to Bellamy with his signature bow-legged strut. That sloppy wench just gave me the most wonderful idea. Bellamy, you're a worthless dog, but you're still a very loyal dog. If you want a second chance, then you'll have to earn it. Yes, I'll do anything. Bellamy immediately agreed. Doflamingo's mouth stretched and formed a wide grin that nearly matched the smile on his flag. Bellamy, I want you to go to the Sky Island and retrieve some gold from the legendary city. Everyone in Jaya knew Bellamy's stance on the Sky Island. He insisted that it didn't exist. Doflamingo had just set Bellamy an impossible task. You see why this is so amusing to me, Bellamy? Doflamingo taunted. Either you'll fail and prove once and for all that you're just a useless punk, or you'll succeed and prove to everyone that you're just an ignorant, hot-headed fool. Oh, and take the sloppy wench with you. She seems to be good for a laugh. What, no? Lily sputtered. Doflamingo raised his hand and flicked his fingers. Lily's legs moved against her will and dragged her out of the crowd before they gave out, and she dropped to the ground behind Bellamy. I quit. I'm not even. I wasn't asking, Doflamingo cut her off. I'll do it, Bellamy agreed. I'll get you your gold, Doflamingo. Whether you do or you don't doesn't matter, Bellamy, Doflamingo announced. Your actions don't matter. You don't matter. You're still alive simply because your new plight amuses me. But should you fail in your task, you will become expendable. Doflamingo flicked his fingers. No! No! Please! Bellamy and Lily looked back to see Sarquis once again involuntarily raise his big knife over his head. Doflamingo! No! Big knife. Sarquis' big knife swung down and cleaved into his own stomach. Slish! Lily was unfortunate enough to be on the ground in between Bellamy and Sarquis. This put her in the splash zone. Thud! Sarquis hit the ground and Lily ended up covered in her ex-boyfriend's blood. The woman stared down at her blood-coated clothes and screamed in horror. Ayawaha! Ayawaha! Ayawawaghai! Fuffufufia! Doflamingo laughed over Lily's screams. See? She's great for a laugh. Doflamingo turned to address the horrified crowd. The beginning is upon us. I suggest you prepare. We're drawing closer to a new world in which only true pirates can survive. The weak should run while the still can, or be swept away by the tides of time as they roll back to reveal a new era of champions. Fuffuffuffuffuff. The sun rose the next morning and the Going Merry sailed peacefully along the water of the Grand Line. Ricky sat at the base of the main mast with his legs crossed and his eyes closed. He now wore the cloud shirt and the beret that the White Berets had given him before they left Skypiea. Chopper sat dutifully next to him and copied Ricky's meditation pose but opened his eyes when Zoro walked over and sat down on Ricky's other side. Any luck? The swordsman asked. Chopper shook his head. I still don't have the first clue what I'm doing, Ricky confessed as he opened his eye. Emergency alert! Usopp suddenly shouted from up in the crow's nest overhead. Uncone's ship spotted at 12 o'clock. Oh hey! I see it! Luffy exclaimed as he sat on the figurehead. Are they bad guys? Well, they don't have a flag, Usopp observed through his binoculars. Or even a sail. I don't know what kind of ship it is. The other ship could have been a pirate ship once. It was lined in green and had a frog with sharp teeth as its figurehead. But there was no flag and no sails flying. The ship simply drifted listlessly along with the current, almost as if its spirit had been broken. It's naked? Luffy gasped. Who would do that to their ship? What are they doing out here without sails? How should I know? Usopp snapped back. What's even weirder, the crew is way too small for a ship that size. There's only a dozen people on the deck. And they look like they're catatonic or something. They're just sitting around in a daze. Sure enough, the crew on the other ship looked just as broken as the ship itself. Splush! Suddenly 3 huge shapes broke the surface behind the Going Merry. The water fell away to reveal the huge creatures that were each 10 times the size of the Going Merry. Their top halves looked like monkeys while they had the tail and fins of fish. Sea monkeys. Eep, eep, eep. The 3 sea monkeys screeched. Oh crap, Ricky complained as he, Zoro and Chopper stood up and stared at the sea monkeys. Sea monkeys are jerks. Why? Luffy asked as he joined the others and gaped at the monkeys. I like monkeys. Those other 2 sea monkeys helped us get to the Sky Island. Yes, but those monkeys were almost part human, Ricky pointed out. These monkeys are evil creatures of the ocean that make it their mission to sink any ship they come across. How do they do that? Chopper questioned. Eep, eep, eep. The sea monkeys cried out as they started to churn up and down in the water behind the Going Merry. The sea rose and fell along with the sea monkeys until they had created a massive tidal wave. Splusash! Wah! Run away! Luffy shouted. Full speed ahead. We can't, there's no wind, Ricky pointed out. K-R-E-K. Nami burst out of the galley with Sanji and Robin behind her. All 3 of them were wearing new outfits. Nami wore a black tank top that said gold on the front and a pair of snug white pants. Sanji had ditched his usual coat and now wore a white button-up shirt and a blue tie. Robin wore black pants and a white tank top with green straps and dots across the chest. Raise the sails and start paddling, the navigator shouted. The Straw Hats scrambled and got to work. Sanji and Usopp raised the sails while Chopper retrieved the long paddles from the anchor room. Zoro and Chopper grabbed one paddle while Luffy and Ricky grabbed the other, and the 4 of them frantically paddled the Going Merry away from the tidal wave causing sea monkeys. Hey, what's wrong with that ship? Sanji called out. They're heading towards the wave. That wave's gonna swallow them whole, Zoro noted. Luffy called off the side of the Merry as they pulled up alongside the other ship. Wake up. There's a big wave filled with sea monkeys. Turn around. The crew on the other ship staggered back up. But they paid no mind to Luffy, his warning, or the giant, monkey-filled wave ahead of them and instead focused on the Going Merry. It's a pirate ship, one of the crew realized. Everyone on your feet, another man called out. We've got to raid their ship and swipe their treasure. You can't tell me what to do, a third man snapped. You're not the captain. We can't let them get away. Ah! A giant wave. Ready the cannons. You're not the boss of me. Somebody turn. Wow, that's gotta be the worst crew ever, Luffy realized. There's no captain on that ship, Ricky said from next to him. There's no one to lead their crew, so now they're helpless. Keep paddling, Nami yelled. They want to steal our treasure. Usopp and Sanji ran over and joined the others at the paddles. With 6 Straw Hats frantically paddling, the Going Merry pulled away from the other ship and the tidal wave. Ricky shook his head as he pumped the paddle in between Luffy and Sanji. No captain, and they don't even have a cute navigator to yell and scream at them until they do what she wants. Why would they even bother setting sail without one of those? Sanji questioned. Which way do we turn? The other crew continued to shout. Who knows? Where's the navigator? We lost the navigator. Where's the captain? We lost the captain too. You're a bunch of morons. Why you a moron? Eep. 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 The sea monkeys cried out as the wave came crashing down on the other ship and swallowed it up. Splush. The Straw Hats had managed to get far enough ahead that when the wave crashed, it sent the Going Merry rushing forward at triple its previous speed. Shish. Luffy laughed. Wow. We're going really fast now. See, Ricky, I told ya. Monkeys are great. Tell that to the guys they just sank. Usopp snapped. Man, it's just one terrible thing after another these days, Zoro grumbled. They had escaped the sea monkeys and had lowered the sails. Now they were once again sailing across peaceful water. At least it's calm, Sanji pointed out. Those huge waves were directly caused by the sea monkeys, Nami informed the others. Now that we've escaped them, the humidity and temperature seem pretty stable. That means we've got to be in the next island's climate zone. Usopp groaned on the deck. He still hadn't full recovered from all the paddling. You hear that, Robin? Any islands? We've been approaching one for a while now, Robin reported from up in the crow's nest where she'd taken over Usopp's post. Why didn't you tell us? Luffy and Usopp complained. You are way too secretive, Usopp scolded her. Tell us the next time you see an island. You know, like this. Usopp turned and motioned to Luffy. Land ahoy! Land! Land! I see land! Luffy shouted. Yeah! Yeah! Shishishi! Now you say it! Usopp prompted. The fog looks pretty thick, Robin stated. Don't ignore me! Usopp shouted. You know, Robin, it kind of defeats the purpose of keeping lookout if you don't tell us when you spot something, Ricky pointed out. Yeah. Luffy chimed in now that he was done shouting. Do you have any idea how long we've been waiting to see another island? Robin blinked, then looked down at them. Fog ahoy. Fog. Fog. I see fog, she deadpanned. Ricky looked over at Luffy and Usopp, then shrugged. It's a start. Fog, huh? Nami questioned as she stood on the deck in front of the galley and surveyed the approaching cloud of fog. That's not good. Hey, Chopper! I need you to stand forward watch. Right. Chopper replied as he scrambled up onto the front deck. You know, I can't stop thinking about that other ship, Usopp remarked. They didn't have a captain, or a navigator, or even sails. It was like they had no idea what they were doing. What kind of self-respecting pirates would head out to sea like that? Maybe they didn't have a choice, Ricky suggested. I'm guessing they got in a battle and lost, Zoro said. Their captain probably got killed and then their ship got plundered. That can't be it, Usopp argued. I gotta look at their ship. It was in perfect condition. No signs of battle. But it was still stripping clean of everything a pirate would need to survive. They probably weren't even pirates then, Sanji decided. Forget it. They looked like pirates to me, Usopp grumbled to himself as he wandered over to the railing. Crummy pirates, but still I've got a bad feeling about this somehow. Have you ever had a good one? Sanji retorted as he went to join Chopper on the front deck. Anyway, Luffy chimed in, I hope there's a town. He stretched his arms out and shot himself onto the front deck along with the others. Maybe they've got a shipyard. Be careful, Luffy, Nami called after him. Don't just jump off when we get there. The others had all wandered off and now Ricky and Nami were standing alone on the deck. Nami folded her arms across her chest, got something to say. I'm glad we have you on the crew, Ricky replied. We'd be sunk without you. That other crew showed us that. I guess that means you're sunk then, Nami retorted as she turned and stalked away. Looks like we're still in troubled waters, Robin observed. Her binoculars were pointed down at the deck. We might need to watch out for oncoming storms. The Going Merry sailed onward into the cloud of fog towards the island that Robin had spotted. I hope we can find a shipwright, Chopper said as he hung on the front railing and peered through the thick fog. Get the anchor ready. We're near the shore, Luffy shouted. I'm on it, Zoro agreed. Ah, Usopp yelped as he dropped to his knees. The bag feeling just got worse. Hey Chopper, Sanji called out. Usopp's come down with another case of scaredy-catitis. No cure for that, Chopper chirped. Right, let's go, Luffy exclaimed. The fog cleared and the Going Merry reached the shore. Huh, Zoro grunted. You're kidding? Sanji growled. The island was made up of mostly flat grassy meadows. The flat land allowed the Straw Hats to see all the way across the island to the small mountain range. Other than the tall thin trees, it was clear that there were no villages on this island. There's nothing at all, Luffy blurted out. It's like a blank slate. Cool. All I can see is grass and trees. Sanji groaned. This place is kind of depressing. I wonder if anyone actually lives here, Robin commented. Yahoo! Skish! Luffy eagerly jumped from the Going Merry to the shore. Hey! Nami snapped. What did I tell you? Me too! Chopper cheered. Skish! He jumped off the ship after Luffy. WHA! Usopp laughed as he jumped after Chopper. Skish! Shishishishishi, ahahahaha, teehehehehe. The three Straw Hats laughed as they rolled back and forth through the soft grass. Geez, it's like they have no concept of unknown danger, Nami complained. Behind her, Zoro tossed the anchor off the side of the ship. SBLOSH. We can see clear across the island, Zoro pointed out. There's no threat in Sai. Why do you think Usopp went after him? Aya. Luffy, Usopp and Chopper all sighed happily as they finished, rolled and relaxed on the soft grass. Chopper was the only one to open his eyes, so he was the one that spotted the bear. Wah! See something, Chopper? Luffy asked as he and Usopp sat up. Whoa! Luffy, Usopp and Chopper all gasped as they stared up at the bear. It was white, furry and walked on its hind legs. But what stood out about the bear was that its long, thin body and limbs made it nearly as tall as the tall, thin trees. Is it a human? Chopper wondered as he watched the bear walk on its hind legs. Skish! Luffy jumped up onto the tall bear's back. Have you ever seen a human this furry or enormous? It's gotta be some kind of bear. Grr? The bear growled as it suddenly found Usopp hanging off of its neck along with Luffy and Chopper perched on top of its head. Whoa! Usopp exclaimed. It's so long! It's a long bear! I'm getting dizzy up here, Chopper remarked from way up on the long bear's head. SWP. Luffy stretched his arm out and grabbed a fruit off of a nearby tree. The red fruit was long and thin and was shaped vaguely like a big pepper. Chomp! But when Luffy bit into it, the fruit was crunchy and pale yellow inside. It's an apple, Luffy realized. It's a long apple. Whoa! Usopp gaped at the long fruit. I'm just realizing it, but the trees are long too. Grrrr, the bear got tired of the three pirates hanging on it and gave a wild shake. Swish, swish, skish! Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper were thrown off and landed on the ground. They pulled themselves back up as the bear stomped off and Usopp pulled down his goggles. Hey, is that a house over there? Usopp called out. They hadn't spotted it at first because unlike everything else on this island, the building was remarkably short. Yeah, I guess it kind of looks like a house, Luffy remarked as he finished off his long apple and then ate the long core. Let's go check it out. Yeah. Usopp yelped as they saw a fox run across their path. The fox was taller than all of them, but its long body stretched onward for a good 30 feet. A large long deer walked past in the opposite direction of the fox. But like the fox, it had a long body that stretched for about 25 feet. Are you guys related? Luffy asked as he looked from the deer's antlers to Chopper's. That's a deer. I'm a reindeer, Chopper corrected him. Don't be racist. They continued onward and watched Seagull fly overhead. The seagull had a long swan-like neck and a big body that made it over 10 feet long. Its wide wingspan was a good 12 feet. Whoa! Chopper gasped as they saw a furry white dog next. It was white and furry, and its head came up to Usopp's waist. Its long body stretched back down the meadow with no end in sight. Shishishishishi. Luffy laughed as he ran over to the dog. He crouched in front of it and held out his hand, shake. Ruff, the dog barked as it raised its paw and shook Luffy's hand. Hey Chopper, check this out, Usopp boasted. Back home I was the limbo champion. Usopp stretched himself, then bent backwards on his legs and carefully started to crab walk under the dog's long body. Tee-hee-hee. Chopper chuckled, go for it, Usopp. Now down, Luffy instructed the dog. Thwump. The dog's long body dropped to the ground right on top of Usopp. Ugh hi. The sniper groaned underneath the long dog. Now beg, Luffy ordered. Reef, the dog let out a chuckle as he reared back onto its hind legs. Swish. Its head and front paws went up and up and up until they couldn't see them anymore. It's miles long, Chopper exclaimed. Wow, I can't even see its head, Usopp commented. Good dog, Luffy called up to it. Back on the Going Merry, Robin was still up in the crow's nest. Huh, Robin said as she stared through the fog and spotted movement. She squinted and spotted a large ship-like shape with sails. Where'd they run off to? Zoro wondered. They were here just a minute ago, Nami replied. Hey Robin, do you see anything? Ricky called up to her. I thought we went over this. Robin looked down at him. Ship ahoy. Ship. Ship. I think I saw a ship. Now I feel like you're mocking me, Ricky stated. Robin crossed her arms over her chest. There's just no pleasing you, is there? I didn't realize you were so high maintenance. I'm high maintenance? Ricky turned and asked the others. No, I'm high maintenance, Nami retorted. You are a stubborn jackass. Is this what we're doing now? Ricky questioned. I'll say something and then you'll make a snarky comment? Nami glared at him. Maybe. If Mississippi Robin saw a ship, maybe we should disembark? Sanji suggested. Maybe there's food on this island. Might as well, Ricky agreed. If there's another ship here, we'd be better off on land. This way, if they turn out to be hostile, we can fight them on land and keep from damaging the Mary. Everything on this island is so long, Usopp remarked. How did it get this way? Maybe it's the gravity? My body feels all stretched out just from thinking about it, Chopper replied. They had finally made it to the house, which was shaped like a short one-story dome. Hilu, anyone home? Luffy called out as he opened the red wooden door and walked in. Hey! What are you doing? Usopp snapped as he grabbed Luffy and tried to hold him back. Luffy ended up dragging Usopp into the house with him. You can't go in there. For all we know, the boss of this island lives in this house, and he's probably some terrifyingly long man-snake monster that'll swallow us whole. I was already swallowed by a long snake monster, Luffy reminded Usopp. So don't worry. Besides, it's empty. No one's home. Huh? Usopp grunted as he stared around the one-room house. Hey Luffy! Usopp! Chopper called out from outside. There's a giraffe out here. Really? Luffy and Usopp gasped as they ran. Nee-ai! The giraffe reared back and let out a whinny. It had long legs and a long neck that made it taller than the house they'd just come out of. Huya! Luffy gaped up at the giraffe. It was solid white giraffe. A solid white giraffe with hooves, a mane and a purple saddle. Chopper, that's not a giraffe, that's a horse with a long neck, Usopp stated. A long horse. You're a horse? Chopper asked the horse. Nay. The horse confirmed as it craned its long neck down and nuzzled Chopper. Wow. It's a girl horse. Luffy exclaimed as he stood directly underneath the horse and stared up at its underbody. Nay. Luffy, don't stand there. Chopper scolded him. Luffy stepped out from underneath the horse. Her name's Shelly. Going by the saddle, her owner must be close by, Usopp reasoned. He turned and saw Luffy staring off past the house. What are you looking at? Over there, Luffy said as he pointed at two tall bamboo stalks that hadn't been there before. There's something up with those bamboo trees. They went over to the bamboo and craned their necks up. Wow, you're right, Usopp exclaimed. Talk about tall. I can't even see the top. That's not it, Luffy said. Look closer. Huh? Usopp said as he leaned in and peered at the bamboo. Swyish. The left bamboo stalk moved forward. Wow! They're moving! They must be part of some long animal, Luffy decided. Swyish. The right bamboo stalk moved forward and slammed into Luffy from behind. Thwack! That thing's attacking Luffy! Usopp shrieked as Luffy tumbled across the grass. Are you okay? Luffy spun into his roll and pushed himself back up to his feet, then spun to face the attacking bamboo trees. Get back here, bamboo! Be careful, Usopp warned him. Goem shum! Luffy stretched his leg back and whipped it around at the bamboo stalk that had attacked him. Why yipe! Kiarak! Luffy's leg smashed through the bamboo stalk. Alright. You did it! Usopp cheered. Yeah. No tree can beat me, Luffy boasted. Why are you along? Chopper asked Sherry. Where's your owner? Nee-ai. You don't know where? Chopper questioned. That sounds awfully lonely. Crash. Chopper and Sherry looked over at the other side of the house and watched the bamboo stalk crash to the ground. It might be bad guys. Chopper realized. You stay here and hide. Nay, Sherry agreed as she ducked her head down to hide behind the short house. What's going on? Chopper called out as he ran over to Luffy and Usopp. Well, Luffy said as he, Usopp and Chopper stared down at an old man. I think that bamboo tree was possessed by this old man's spirit. Boom! Boom! Ricky, Zoro, Nami, Sanji and Robin stood on the shore and watched as two claws shot out and sank onto the shore around the Going Merry. Shunk! Shunk! The 5 Straw Hats stared past the Going Merry, which was easily dwarfed by the huge galleon-sized pirate ship. Hey, what's the deal? Sanji wondered. They blocked in our ship. This can't be good, Nami realized. That's the ship I saw earlier, Robin observed. You guys looking for a fight? Zoro growled. 'Cause we'll give you one, Sanji added. The ship was massive and lined with gold. It had a silver fox for the figurehead, and the 2 chain claws that it had shot onto the shore around the Mary were shaped like fox paws. The first of the 3 masts was adorned with black sails. The bottom one had a Jolly Roger that had slanted fox eyes, fox ears on top of the skull, and an oddly shaped red nose. The word Foxy had been painted onto the black sail around the Jolly Roger. We are the notorious Foxy Pirates, a loud voice called out from on the ship. We want more than just a fight from you. We want a showdown. Just what we need, Nami growled, more annoying foxes. I take offense to that, Ricky stated. You were meant to, Nami snapped. A tree spirit? Chopper questioned as they stared down at the old man. He had a round wrinkled forehead, small round eyes, a bulbous round nose and a bushy white round beard. He wore a brown fur hat with cloth that went down around his ears and a yellow tunic that was lined in a green and had a pale purple sash around the waist. Yeah, Luffy replied. What else pops out of a tree? Hey, can you speak? Usopp asked the tree spirit. The old man sat up. What do you mean I don't remember you? Of course I do. What have you been up to all these years? Huh? Usopp questioned. You guys know him? Never seen him, Luffy stated. Same here, Chopper agreed. Well, that would explain why I don't remember you then, the old man replied. Who are you, old man? Usopp demanded. And tell us the truth. If you want my name, it's Tunjit, the old man answered as he rubbed his finger under his nose, but what I intend to give you is my gratitude. I've been hoping someone would knock me down off those stilts. Off what? Usopp inquired. He turned and saw that the bamboo trees actually had footholds on them. Oh, they are stilts. We didn't realize 'cause they were so long, Luffy stated. We couldn't even see you. I'm not surprised, Tunjit replied. I couldn't even see the ground up there. So let's get this straight, Luffy tried to clarify, you're not a tree spirit. You're just some old guy whose stilts I thought were attacking me. What were you doing walking around on those stilts anyway? Well, I've always been a stilt enthusiast, Tunjit explained. I wanted to break some records and make the world's tallest stilts by using the bamboo on this island. I managed to get on them with a little effort, but then I was too scared to climb back down. That's just plain crazy, Luffy exclaimed. I was up there for 10 years, Tunjit stated. That's even crazier, Luffy shouted. Wait, Usopp shrieked. You were on those stilts for 10 whole years? That's right, Tunjit confirmed, and to make matters worse, the bamboo kept growing the entire time. It just kept getting harder and harder to climb down. So terrifying. How did you live up there for 10 years? Usopp shouted. Well, most of the trees on this island are just as tall as my stilts, Tunjit answered, if not taller. So I was well fed from their fruit. He talks about it like it's no big deal, Usopp remarked, 10 long years of his life. And speaking of long stuff, Luffy said, how come all the animals here are so insanely long? It might seem crazy to an outsider, but there is a reason, Tunjit told him. As I'm sure you've noticed, the island is nothing but grass and trees. It's dull. So everything grew long out of a longing for excitement. He can't be serious, Luffy thought to himself. See that over there? Tunjit pointed out a bird really long beak. Platypus? You just said it longer. Usopp scolded him. And that one, Tanji turned and pointed to the long white dog that Usopp had tried to play limbo with earlier. That's a Dachshund. Is that the same dong? Chopper wondered. You mean it's still passing us? Usopp exclaimed. Oh man! And there are dangerous animals as well, Tunjit added. See over there? It's a snow leopard. I'd steer clear of it. Oh yeah, Usopp agreed. Leopards sound like bad news. I don't want to run into one of those. Usopp turned and his eyes bugged out when he saw the snow leopard. It had a normal body, but its head was stretched really wide. Why is its head the only thing that's long? But while Tanji continued to point out the long animals on the island, the 3 straw hats didn't realize that they were being watched. A pair of binoculars and split hair that looked like fox ears poke out of a nearby bush. Swish! Two other figures popped out of the bush behind the first person. The first was big and fat while the second was small with womanly curves. Fifefefef, a man with a long red nose and a fox-like grin laughed as he stared through the binoculars at the three pirates. Hello, we've found the captain. Reunion on Long Ring Long Land. I'm in your debt, Tunjit told the Straw Hats after they'd helped him down from his giant stilts. Let me show you some hospitality. Come to my house. Awesome! Luffy exclaimed. I'm starving. Me too, Chopper chirped. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper followed the old man back into the small round house. Finally home after all these years, Tunjit remarked. It's a custom in this village to treat visitors to extra delicious milk from our farm animals. Village? Luffy repeated. I didn't see any village out there. Or farm animals, Chopper added. Now that you mention it, Tunjit muttered. Gah, the old man's eyes widened in shock. The whole village is gone. All of our animals too. You're nuts, old man, Usopp remarked. I know it's been 10 years, but whole villages don't just disappear. Yes, but this is a special case, Tunjit replied. I'll save the explanation until after we've had a nice cold drink. I believe I had some mild tucked away somewhere. Did you say milk? Usopp questioned. You do realize you were stuck on those stilts for 10 years, don't you? Gah, the old man's eyes widened in shock. In that case, would you like some cheese? Tunjit poured a plate of smelly, lumpy dairy out onto a plate. That's the milk, isn't it? Usopp snapped. If you don't want to eat it, I won't force you, Tunjit said as he placed the cheese on the table and helped himself to a little pinch of it. But far be it from me to let cheese go to waste. Wait, so you're saying it's okay to eat this stuff after all? Luffy asked. Are you out of your mind? Usopp scolded Luffy as he slapped Luffy's hand away from the plate of expired cheese. What's the big deal? Tunjit inquired. Some cheese tastes better when it's finely aged. Your high-stress lifestyles have made your stomachs weak. Whereas laid-back fellows like myself can eat whatever we like. You kids go on your fancy adventures, but you're shy when it comes to new food. Gah, the old man's eyes widened in shock and he dropped to the floor and held his belly. Someone call a doctor. What did you think was going to happen? Usopp demanded. Moron. Doctor. Someone get a doctor. Hurry. Chopper shouted, then he trailed off. Wait. That's me. Chopper quickly pulled a stethoscope out of his backpack and held it to Tunjit's stomach. It's food poisoning. Yeah, you think? Usopp snapped. Shishishishi. Luffy laughed. You're funny, old man. Are you gonna be okay? Chopper asked Tunjit. Yes, the old man answered, except for the fact that the entire camp packed up and moved on without me. I see now, Chopper realized. The village didn't disappear, it moved. That means the people here are nomads. Tunjit nodded. Indeed. And Long Ring Long Land Island is our home. You are welcome here. Oh, thanks, Luffy replied. Long Ring Long Land Island got its name from its ring-like shape, Tunjit went on to explain. Although it's technically one big circle, the tides divide it into 10 small islands. You'd probably never guess that all of the islands are connected, but once a year when the tides are at their lows you can see Long Ring Long Land Island's true form, if only for a couple of hours. We use this time to migrate from one island to the next every 3 years, circling the ring again and again. Oh, so everyone moved to the next island while you were stuck up in the trees, Usopp noted. What rotten luck. Shishishishi. Luffy laughed. That's a good one. You're a real rebel, old man. Usopp mused out loud. If they stay on each island for 3 years, then subtract the 10 years that you were living on those stupid bamboo stilts, then it'll still take a good 20 years for them to come around and meet up with you again. That's assuming you don't eat that cheese again, and die of food poisoning, of course. Well, it's sad but true, Tunjit agreed. I just wish I had my horse to ride again. Then I could cross to an island every time the tides were low, and catch up to the other villagers in only 5 years. Horses? Chopper repeated. That's right, Tunjit said. They're the most graceful and beautiful animals on the whole island. Once tamed, they can be used to gross the grassy plain with the greatest of ease. Without them it would be impossible for our people to migrate. After all, our belongings are far too heavy to carry on our own. And even if we were strong enough to move all our luggage, the tide would still rise and drown us before we could make it across. Wouldn't it be easier to take a boat instead? Luffy of all people suggested. Yes, of course, Tunjit answered. But unfortunately we don't know how to sail. And besides, even if we could charge a log pose here, that doesn't mean it would point to the next island. The land may be split into 10 pieces, but it's all part of the same place. I suppose I'll just have to wait 20 years. You'll be lonely, Luffy pointed out. That's a long time. Oh, wait a second, Chopper exclaimed. Is a horse just like a horse? Hey, I almost forgot about that, Luffy realized. We saw a horse here earlier. God, the old man's eyes widened in shock. Nii! Nii! Oh, my sweet little Shelly! Tunjit cried as he reunited with his lost horse. Nii Shelly craned her long neck down and nuzzled Tunjit, while the old man hugged her. You waited for me all these years, Tunjit gushed. You're such a pretty girl. Such a good girl. Look at you, I missed you so much. You've sure grown long since I've been away. Good girl. I'm so sorry you were all alone while I was gone. It's all my fault. I'll never leave you again. Nay, nee! Shelly reared up onto her rear legs. She wants you to ride her, Chopper translated. Don't leave her waiting. And a moment later, Tunjit was sitting in Shelly's saddle as she raced through the meadow. Both the man and his devoted horse wore wide smiles. What a pal, huh? Usopp remarked as Luffy and Chopper sat together and watched the happily reunited duo frolic through the meadow. Even though everyone else left, she still hung around all these years. That's my kind of horse, Luffy commented. I don't know which one of them is happier right now, Chopper noted. Ha 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 ha. Tunjit laughed as he and Shelly raced by again. Man, that horse sure is fast, Luffy exclaimed. I want to ride it too. I see why that old man likes horses so much, Usopp added. Now that I'm back, let's cross the sea together, Shelly, Tunjit said to his loyal steed. As soon as the tide is low again, okay? You've waited through rainy days and you've waited through snowy days as well. But from now on we'll have nothing but sunshine. Nii! Shelly replied as she thought back to what she had been through. Shelly flashback. Shelly, are you sure you want to wait here for Tunjit all alone? The leader of the nomads asked. We're taking all your friends with us. Shelly looked to see that all the other horses had been saddled up with the nomads belonging for the upcoming migration. That was her herd, but Tunjit was her human. Please come with us, Shelly, the leader pleaded with the dedicated horses. We won't return to this island for 27 years. You're going to be lonely if you stay here all by yourself. We don't know where Tunjit ran off to, but it's not worth waiting here. He may be gone for good. Tunjit's young granddaughter ran over. I'm gonna stay here too, the little girl insisted. Grandpa's coming back. I just know it. Don't be foolish, you can't stay here alone, the leader scolded her. I don't want to leave Shelly and Grandpa all alone, the girl cried. Grandpa's coming back. I know it. We have to wait for him. The leader picked up the girl and carried her back to the others. Good luck, old girl, he told the dedicated horse. Live well. Shelly! The little girl called out. The nomads set off and Shelly was left behind. She waited alone on the island for any sign of Tunjit. She waited through the rain, through the snow. She waited 10 long, lonely years. End Shelly's flashback. Me! Now all that waiting was worth it because Shelly had been reunited with her human. Those long lonely years were all behind her now. Shelly galloped with an extra spring in her step. Happy to finally be reunited with her human. Whoa there, Shelly! Tunjit warned her. You know this old man's afraid of heights, don't ya? Ha 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 ha. Shishishishishi, ah ha 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 ha, tee hee 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 hee. The 3 straw hats all laughed from seeing such a joyful, happy reunion. Bang! Tunjit went flying off of Shelly's back and the horse dropped to the ground. Gah! Oh no! Usopp yelped as the pirates jumped to their feet. Are you okay? Chopper called out as they ran over to the nomad and his horse. Luffy growled and clenched his fists as he searched the source of the gunshot. Yuug, Tunjit groaned as he held his back. Nii nii. The old man turned and saw that Shelly hadn't been shot but that there was a net tangled around her long legs. Shelly! What happened? Usopp shouted as he and Chopper ran over. We heard a gunshot. Chopper added. What's with this net? Usopp wondered as he dropped down and got to work untangling it. Here, I'll get it. Chopper ran past Usopp and went to check on Tunjit. Fee-fei-fa-fei. Luffy whirled around to see 3 people. A small man, a big gorilla, and a woman. Sorry suckers, but that horse is mine. Yeah, you tell him, boss, a woman chimed in. Put those losers in their place. Whoever you are, Luffy snarled, you'll pay. Davy backfight. Whoever you are? The man repeated. He was a short, chubby man with skinny arms and legs. He had bushy black eyebrows that looked like a series of triangles. He had a long red nose and slick grin plastered across his face. His black hair was split into 2 tufts that were designed to look like fox ears, but had unintended consequence of making his head look like it had been partially split in half. He had 6-pack abs but was also wearing a green girdle that peeked out under his yellow-orange suspender pants. He wore an elaborate fox-themed necklace and a purple fur-lined coat with a high collar. The man was Foxy the Silver Fox, the captain of the Foxy Pirates, with a bounty of 24 million berries. You mean you don't know? My goodness, the woman next to Foxy remarked. She was a curvy young woman with long dark blue hair, a pointed nose and blue eyes. She wore a black domino face mask with slanted fox-like eyes and a red and pink striped hat with a big white puff ball on it. She also wore a pink jumpsuit with a pale pink sash tied around her waist and long elbow-length gloves that were cuffed with white fluff. The top of the jumpsuit was unzipped to reveal a pink bikini top. The woman was Portia, the idol of the Foxy Pirates. How rude. Puh-puh-puh-puh. The huge man laughed and held his hands over his face. He towered over Foxy and Proche at nearly 20 feet. His upper body was huge and muscular while his legs were relatively skinny, which made him look like a gorilla. He had small eyes and a round nose, but a large round lower face with thick lips that made him look like a monkey. He wore a black and blue striped cap with eye holes cut in it so it served as a face mask. His chest was bare, but he wore blue pants and a pale blue sash around his waist that matched Portia's and blue elbow-length gloves with a round pale blue Foxy emblem on the cuffs. The big man was Hamburg, a Foxy pirate, and the leader of the Groggy Monsters. Don't tell me you've never seen this face before, Foxy called out to Luffy. The only thing I know about your face is that I'm gonna break it, Luffy hollered back. But then he blinked in surprise when Foxy dropped to his knees and whimpered. He really doesn't know me. Oh no! Portia gushed as she patted Foxy's back to console him. Don't get depressed, boss. He's just saying that. It's a joke. Everybody knows that. Not that he'd have any reason to know him, Hamburg remarked, then laughed. Pew-pew-pew-pew. You're gonna make him cry, Hamburg. Portia snapped at the big gorilla man. My name is Foxy the Silver Fox, Foxy introduced himself, as he regained his confidence. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is also mine. Fei-fei. You should see the looks on your dumb faces. What kind of pansy gets so worked up over a stupid horse? If I didn't steal that thing myself, then somebody else would do it. That's enough. Luffy snapped, and stretched his arm back. Shum. Gum. Hold it, Luffy. Not yet. Foxy called out. Huh, how do you know my name? Luffy asked. Because unlike some people, we did our homework, Foxy boasted. Straw Hat Monkey D. Luffy, captain of the Straw Hat Pirates with a bounty of 100 million berries, Portia recited. Thanks to the latest marine intelligence, we know that your first mate is One-Eye Ricky, a former Whitebeard pirate with a bounty of 80 million berries. Your crew also consists of pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro with a bounty of 60 million berries, demon child Nico Robin with of 79 million berries, and 4 other pirates. That makes a total of 8 pirates. For such a small crew, you're worth a big lump of cash. Now, with introductions out of the way, Foxy said as he held up 3 gold coins in his fingers. As captain of the Foxy Pirates, I challenge you to a Davy back fight. I don't know what that means, Luffy admitted, but if you want to fight, bring it on. I'm sick of hearing you talk. A Davy back fight? Usopp repeated as he watched Luffy confront the 3 Foxy Pirates. Now it makes sense. I bet that crummy crew we saw got challenged to a Davy back fight too. That's why their ship was in perfect condition, but the crew itself was in tatters. This is bad. I've got to stop him, or we could end up like them. Luffy, no! Usopp shouted at Luffy. We'll end up losing our crew. What are you talking about, Usopp? Luffy asked. I know what a Davy back fight is, Usopp told him as he ran towards Luffy, and I know that this guy's a jerk. But you can't agree to his challenge. Fee-fay-fa-fay. Foxy laughed. Too bad, kid. No takebacks. He already agreed. He said bring it on, remember? Ain't that right, Portia? That's what he said, Portia confirmed. And once you accept a challenge, there's no turning back. That's the rule. Shoulda kept your mouth shut, Hamburg taunted. Puh-puh-puh-puh. What's wrong? Foxy taunted. Don't tell me you aren't man enough to keep your word. I am too, Luffy insisted. Womp. Usopp finally reached Luffy and clubbed him on the head. You're falling into his trap. Usopp berated him. But what about the horse? Luffy protested. Come on. I want to kick this guy's ass. Shelly O'Tunjik groaned. You landed on your back pretty hard, Chopper warned the injured old man. Don't push yourself too much. Knee-Eye Shelly was caught in Foxy's net. Usopp had abandoned untangling it to stop Luffy. Tunjik grunted and pushed himself back up to his feet. Both of you step aside. While Luffy gasped. Are you crazy? Usopp exclaimed as they looked back to see Tunjik pointing a gun at Foxy. Shelly waited 10 years for me to come back. Tunjik growled. I won't let you take her. I know that you're angry, Luffy said, but those are pirates, old man. What do you mean the fight's already started? Nami asked as the rest of the Straw Hats stood on the shore and stared up at Foxy's pirate ship, the White Foxy. Every member of the Foxy crew wore the same black face mask with slanted eye holes that Portia wore. A Davy back fight begins as soon as one captain accepts a challenge from another captain. No takebacks. You've just gotta deal with it. I don't get this, Zoro growled. If it's a fight, why do I have to sit and wait? Let's do this right here, right now. You don't know anything, do you? Sanji complained. It's not a real fight. It's more like a sports match between different pirate crews. Supposedly the game originated in a faraway place called Pirate Island, Robin recalled. The main purpose of a Davy back fight is to plunder desirable members from another pirate's crew. Pirates plundering other pirates? Nami questioned. Winning a match allows you to pick a member from your opponent's crew, Ricky explained. The matches are different kinds of challenges. Races, sports, fights, all sorts of fun things. What's fun about losing a crew member? Nami retorted. Why would anyone agree to that? Once both captains agree to the challenge, they take an oath on the name of Davy Jones, the Pirate of the Deep, Ricky answered. So because of that oath, when a pirate is plundered from another crew, that have to immediately swear an oath of loyalty to their new captain. And that's not all. One of the Foxy pirates taunted. If there's no one worth take on the other crew, the captain can add insult to injury by robbing the crew of its Jolly Roger. You're not just risking your crew members but the pride of your crew as well, Sanji stated. Winning might make you stronger, but losing can leave you with nothing at all. You might as well be betting your life. That explains that other ship, Nami realized. They had no captain, no navigator, they didn't even have a pirate flag or sails. They must have lost everything in a Davy back fight. Oh, so you saw the Fang Frog pirates, or what's left of them at least, a Foxy pirate noted. Here, meet our newest recruits. Long live the Foxy pirates. A large man with a gray mustache called out as he walked over with a group of pirates. Before I came here I was the captain of the Fang Frog pirates. I was the doctor, another man added. I was the navigator. And I was the shipwright. We played 5 3-coin games and lost them all, the Fang Frog pirates navigator recounted. 13 crew members, our captain and our Jolly Roger. With so many of our crew members jumping ship, it was more like a merger. What about your crew, huh? Zoro asked. You don't care? Just join a new crew and leave them out to dry. Yeah, no kidding, Sanji said. Those poor saps got a one-way ticket to a watery grave. Watery grave? The former Fang Frog captain repeated. That's their problem. Don't look at me. I'm a Foxy pirate now. You're nothing but scum, Nami snapped. We're not playing your stupid game. Got it. There's no way we'd ever sink to your level. Unfortunately, you don't have a choice in the matter, Ricky informed her. The decision to accept the challenge is the captain's to make. Nothing any of us say will make a difference. And you know how impulsive Luffy is. Foxy either goaded him into a fight, or told him that he wanted to play a game. Do you honestly think he could turn down an offer like that? That's stupid, Nami snapped. You're stupid. Luffy's stupid. I refuse to play a game where I'm the prize. We don't have a choice, Mississippi Nami, Sanji warned her. If we turn our back on this fight now, we'll be sailing away in disgrace. Who cares? Nami exclaimed. That's better than losing. Maybe for you, Zoro retorted. But I'd rather die than live in disgrace. The same goes for me, Sanji agreed. Get over yourselves, Nami complained. Fufufu, Robin chuckled, you know how men can be. There's no point in arguing with them. And who said anything about losing? Ricky asked. I play to win. Nami growled at him. If you're not going to take this seriously, then I'll stop Luffy myself. Don't bother, one of the foxy pirates scoffed. All that's left now is to wait for the captains to fire a shot to signal the beginning of the match. Bang! A gunshot rang out before Nami could even get 3 feet. Oh no way! Nami gasped. Guess that settles it, Sanji resolved. I'm not complaining, Zoro stated. Should be interesting at least, Robin remarked. He's agreed to the game. The foxy pirates cheered. Don't worry, Nami, Ricky reassured her. We may have to deal with Luffy's impulsiveness, but you still have me. In what universe do I have you? Nami yelled at him. Ricky stared at her for a moment, then answered. This one. Where we're on the same crew and I'm a former Whitebird pirate that used to compete in Davy back fights all the time. Wait, you've actually done this crazy pirate pillaging competition? Nami asked. We used to hold Davy back fights between divisions, Ricky explained. For us, they were friendly competitions and a way to shake up divisions with occasional batches of fresh blood. With Ace, the other Spade Pirates, and Division 2 I was undefeated. 21-0. You call that an undefeated streak? A foxy pirate shouted. Foxy's undefeated too. He's won 920 Davy back fights and has a crew of almost 500 pirates. Sounds like a challenge, Ricky replied as he flashed the foxy pirates a fox-like grin. He's undefeated because he hasn't faced me yet. I'll break his streak. Luffy held the smoking gun that he'd taken from Tunjit and just fired up in the air. Swish! The round exploded and became a net, then dropped down out of the sky and snagged Foxy, Portia, and Hamburg. Swash! Wah! Foxy yelped as he and his cronies struggled to get out of the net. Stupid! Usopp yelled at Luffy and slapped the back of his head. Whap! Why did you agree? You could end up losing your crew. You could lose me. Nope, I'm gonna win this thing, Luffy insisted. Foxy slipped out from the net and stood back up. Now the Davy back fight's officially underway. Good, Luffy retorted. The sooner I can pound your face in the better. Fei, Foxy laughed. I'd like to see you try. Bring it on, Splithead, Luffy snapped. He doesn't like my haircut, Foxy whimpered as he dropped to his knees. Hey, Portia snapped as she and Hamburg slipped out of the net. He's very sensitive. Apologize right now. He's sensitive about everything, Hamburg confessed. He's got a heart of glass. Puh. Don't laugh at him, Portia scolded Hamburg. Luffy, just listen, Usopp urged his captain. I'm as angry about the old guy's horse as you are, but this is madness. Good, use that anger to thrash him, Tunjit chimed in as he flashed Luffy a thumbs up. Aren't you supposed to be injured? Usopp yelled at him. Leave it to me, Luffy hollered. Foxy smirked as he stood up and regained his confidence again. You don't know what you're getting into. The foxy pirates showed that they were more than used to their captain challenging other crews to Davy back fights. In a matter of minutes they had erected a stage and surrounded it by gift shops and food carts that made it look like a fair. This was the Davy back fight opening ceremony. Kabloom bloom. Fireworks exploded overhead. Sausage on a stick. A foxy pirate with snack box called out. Get your sausage on a stick. It's time for the opening ceremony. A foxy pirate on the stage called out. Everybody simmer down. All competitors get ready. Splithead may be a jerk, but he sure knows how to party, Luffy remarked as he, Usopp, Chopper and Tunjet wandered into the opening ceremony. And check out all the people he invited. Is that his crew? Wow! Chopper exclaimed. There's so many. 5 jumbo yakisoba please, Tunjet requested as he stood at a noodle stand. Whose side are you on, old man? Usopp snapped at him. Oh, there you guys are. The Straw Hat trio turned and saw Ricky approaching with 4 sticks of cotton candy. He handed the cotton candy out to Luffy. Usopp and Chopper then took a bite out of his own. Couldn't resist the challenge, huh Luffy? Oh, yummy! Chopper gushed as he ate a chunk of pink fluff. Split head's a jerk, Luffy insisted. I'm gonna kick his ass in this black fight thing. Davy back fight, Ricky corrected him. Luckily, I've played this game before with Ace. They're still going to explain the rules though. You need to go on the stage and pick how many matches you want to do. A moment later, Portia stood on the stage with a microphone, while pirate captains Monkey D, Luffy and Foxy the Silver Fox sat behind her. Now let's calm down, boys, Portia told the Foxy crew that had gathered in front of the stage. We're about to start. I love you, Portia, a Foxy pirate called out to the idol of the crew. Marry me, another Foxy pirate called out. Since most of our challengers have never played this game before, let's go over the rules, Portia addressed the crowd. First, whatever you lose in one of the matches, whether it's your crew, your Jolly Roger or anything else, the only way you can take it back is with another Davy back fight. Second, any crew member taken must swear undying loyalty to their new captain on the spot. No exceptions. Third, if your Jolly Roger is taken, you can't ever fly it again. Are you sure you don't want some more cotton candy, Miss Nami? Sanji offered. The other Straw Hats had gathered around a crate at the back of the crowd. I don't know how you can all be so calm about this, Nami whined as she sat on the crate and held her head. She once again ignored Sanji's offered cotton candy. It's already settled, Zoro pointed out, so you might as well stop complaining. Finally, Portia concluded, if you break any of the rules you'll be labeled a disgrace to all pirates and banished to Davy Jones' locker. So do the captains swear to uphold them? Foxy stood up, I swear. Luffy stood up too, I swear. Yeewa! The Foxy pirates cheered. Alright, Straw Hat, Foxy called out as he held up 3 coins between his fingers. I'll let you choose your fate. 1 coin, 2 coins, 3 coins, it's all up to you, kid. That's our boss for you, Portia remarked, always a good sport. What do the coins do? Luffy asked. They decide how many games, Portia explained. The boss is letting you choose how many matches you'll have. You can quit after 1 or you do as many as 3 if you're feeling lucky. Yeepee! Nami and Usopp squeaked in alarm. Well, the more games we have, the more fun we'll have, Luffy reasoned. So let's. Luffy! Nami and Usopp called out. Luffy turned to see them at the back of the crowd. They were each holding up 1 finger. Luffy smiled and stared at the fingers. Okay, got it, Luffy said. I'll take 3. Gah! Usopp gasped. He and Nami turned to see Hamburg standing next to them, also holding up 1 finger. You weren't supposed to add them, Nami and Usopp snapped. And why'd you count an enemy too? That was easy, Hamburg remarked. Pupa pupa. Hamburg walked away and Nami and Usopp saw Ricky standing behind them eating his cotton candy with 1 hand and holding up 3 fingers with his other. What are you doing? Nami demanded. It's strategy, Ricky answered. We don't know anything about these guys. So in case we lose, we'll have the second match to win back anyone we lose and a third to win the whole thing. Or we could lose 3 people, Usopp shrieked. Lose? 3 times? Ricky questioned. Don't be ridiculous. You're ridiculous, Nami snarled. Swipe. Nami snatched Ricky's half-eaten cotton candy out of his hand. You don't deserve this cotton candy. But I paid for it, Ricky muttered. So it's settled, Foxy loudly announced. 3 coins, 3 games, orthodox rules. Foxy turned and threw the 3 coins off the stage and into the water. Let Davy Jones be our witness. Who's Davy Jones guy? Chopper asked. He'd long since finished his cotton candy and was licking the stick. He turned and eyed Robin's cotton candy. Robin smiled and gave the reindeer her untouched cotton candy. Davy Jones was a pirate who was cursed by the devil and forced to spend all of eternity at the bottom of the sea. I've never heard of people living underwater, Chopper replied. Well, that's that the legend says, Robin told him. And all of the ships and treasures that sink beneath the waves go to Davy Jones' locker, never to be seen by anyone again. I knew the ocean was scary, but that's crazy, Chopper commented. Davy Jones has been taking his picks from all sorts of pirates for as long as anyone can remember, Sanji said. That's why it's called a Davy back fight, in honor of the pirate who may someday claim your crew as his own. I can't believe you'd gamble your nakama, Nami growled at Ricky as she tore off a chunk of his cotton candy. Gamble? Ricky repeated. Good idea. Since they're captains on such a long winning streak, I bet I'll get great odds if I put money on us winning. The stage of battle is set, Straw Hat, Foxy shouted. Are you ready? You bet, Luffy hollered back. Let's go. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Fireworks exploded overhead as the Foxy Pirates celebrated the upcoming Davy back fight against the Straw Hat Pirates. Two people who weren't thrilled about the upcoming contest were Nami and Usopp. The two of them were currently grinding their knuckles into opposite sides of their rubber captain's head. You jerk, Usopp spat. You've landed us in a real mess, Luffy, Nami complained. What's the big deal? Luffy asked as he attempted to eat some noodles while his crew literally squished his head. All we've got to do is win. Swip! One of the Foxy Pirates threw a sheet of paper on the ground in front of the Straw Hats. You're forgetting something, the Foxy Pirate stated. You've got to fill out your team roster. We're not forgetting anything, you guys took your time in handing it out, Ricky said. Your captain issued the challenge, so you're the hosting party, and that means it's on you guys to make sure we get the proper paperwork. The Foxy Pirate grunted and looked annoyed at Ricky turning the tables on him. You each get to compete twice. Once you fill that out, get it to our party organizer. Zoro was the closest to the roster sheet and picked it up. It's got all the events listed, he noted. A race, a ball game, and a team contest. Without another word, the swordsman handed the sheet off to Ricky. You've played this game before. What's the plan? You're really trusting him with this? Nami protested. Of course, Zoro agreed. I trust him to get us out of this crazy situation. Well, this says that the entire crew can compete in the race, Ricky noted, but only 3 people in the ball game and only 5 of us in the team contest. Ooh. Sign me up for all 3, Luffy cheered. You can't do that, Luffy, Robin corrected him. The rules say that we can only compete twice. Which is why I'm going sit out the first round, Ricky announced. This way I'll be able to scout the competition when you're racing and compete in rounds 2 and 3. Right, Sanji replied, so everyone but you will be in the race. What about the other 2? You, me and Chopper will compete in the ball game, Ricky decided, then Luffy, Nami, Usopp, Robin and I will be in the team competition. Zoro blinked. Wait, so I only get to compete once? Get to? Usopp repeated. You can have my spot in the 3rd round if you want it. Sorry, Zoro, Ricky said, but I don't think you and Sanji could work together well enough to be a proper team in the ball game. I'm almost positive that they won't let you use your swords, so I want to have someone that excels with unarmed combat. If we throw in Chopper and all his transformations, we'll be able to catch them off guard. Chopper beamed, you can count on me. Zoro shrugged, if that's your plan, I'm fine with it. Again, Zoro can have my spot. Usopp was all too happy to offer. Seriously, if we lose, I just know that they'll take Captain Usopp. Get over yourself, Nami shouted. They're gonna take me. I'm the cute one. She's got you there, Usopp, Ricky remarked. Nami turned and glared at him. What? You're cute. I'd pick you if I was a Foxy Pirate. You broke up with me, Nami growled. You don't get to call me that. Okay, I'm sorry that I called you cute, Ricky replied. Mr. One-Eye, Ms. Navigator, Robin spoke up, if you don't mind putting your lover's quarrel on hold until this is over, I think we'd all appreciate it. We need you both focused. We're not lovers, Nami snapped. Sorry, Robin, Ricky apologized. Anyway, Zoro's my special fallback plan if things go south. Then if that's all taken care of, let's get this over with, Sanji resolved. A moment later, the Foxy Pirates party organizer had received the Straw Hats roster. It's time to announce the rosters that each time has chosen to represent them in today's events. The party organizer was called Ida Minazu. He was a thin man with a big mouth. He wore a long black and white striped cap that had holes cut in the brim to make it a foxy mask, a purple coat, yellow gloves, and white pants. He carried a shoulder bag with a transponder snail on it. First up, Ida Mimizu continued, competing in the donut race. It's the entire Straw Hat crew, minus the first mate One-Eye Ricky. Did I ever tell you guys that I have a disease that prevents me from racing? Usopp questioned. I don't want to do this stupid thing either. Nami berated him. Just man up. Participating in round 2, the Groggy Ring, are Ricky, Sanji, and Tony Chopper. Any idea what a Groggy Ring is? Sanji inquired. We've got to get a ball and a hoop, Ricky answered. I'm gonna try my hardest, Chopper assured them. And participating in round 3, the round, we've got Monkey D, Luffy, Nico, Robin, Nami, Usopp, and Ricky. Looks like this is it, Robin noted. Alright, Luffy cheered. Let's go. Foxy mused to himself as he sat in a chair on stage and surveyed the Straw Hat crew. The captain, a treasure hunter, a swordsman, a navigator, a sniper, a cook, a doctor, and an archaeologist. So tough, but I do have to decide who I'm going to take. A wide, crafty smirk spread across Foxy's face. I believe it'll be that one right there. Yes. That is the one I want. Alright, the party organizer concluded. Let the merciless Davy back begin. A winner will be crowned while the loser will be forcibly drowned. I am Ita Mimizu. You may know me as the Foxy Pirates party organizer, but today I will be your commentator. Our first event of the day is round 1, the donut race. How do you guys think we should team up? Robin inquired. Considering a few of us have devil fruit powers, it would make sense to split up into teams of 3 or 4 people, Sanji reasoned. Legal boats for the donut race can only be constructed using oars and 3 empty barrels. You will be disqualified if you use any other materials. This is the perfect chance for shipwrights to show off. Oh wait, those guys don't have one. Ida Mimizu turned and tapped the assorted piles of barrels and oars that had been placed on stage. If you left your empty barrels at home, come on up here and get some. All for free, cause that's how generous we are. I'm not sure if 3 barrels is enough material to build a boat big enough to hold 4 of us, Robin noted as she eyed the supplies that had been provided. We've better go with 3 teams then, Zoro decided. I'm not involved in this event, Ricky stated. But I'd suggest putting 1 devil fruit user on each team. That way there'll be someone to fish out the non-swimmers if you get sunk. So while the Foxy Pirates began to work on their boats, the Straw Hats Pirates split into 3 teams and began constructing boats of their own. What the hell? Sanji yelled. He'd once again been stuck with Luffy. The captain had completely dismantled all of their barrels and had the wood laid out on the grass in front of them. You can't just bust them up like that. Sure I can, Luffy replied. Just watch. I'm gonna make us a killer boat. Slish. Zoro cut a barrel in half. He and Chopper were teaming together on this event. Conk. Chopper clumsily smashed a hammer down on his hoof. Yeah. Hurry up, Usopp. Nami snapped at the sniper. You know you could help too. Usopp complained as he used one of his trusty hammers to nail some boards together. I'll lend a hand or two, Robin offered as extra arms sprouted out of the ground in front of Usopp and held the boards in place for him. I'll take this time while everyone's preparing to explain how the race works. The course consists of 1 lap around Long Ring Long Land. It may sound easy, but believe me, it's not. If your boat sinks, your team is immediately disqualified from the race. Oh yeah. Weapons? They allowed. Guns, cannons, explosives, anything you can think of. If that sounds unfair, then you've got no right at all to call yourself a pirate. Phew, Usopp sighed as he surveyed their completed boat. I'm kind of amazed that I finished. Bloom. Bloom. Fireworks went off to signify that the race was going to start soon. And time is just about up, Ida Mimizu stated. I hope everyone is ready. One of the Foxy Pirates went over to Ida Mimizu and handed him a sheet of paper. Oh! Gather round, folks. The final odds are in. By odds, do you mean gambling odds? Ricky inquired as he stood in front of the stage. I've been looking all over and I can't find the bookie. I'm the Foxy Pirates bookie and party organizer, Ida Mimizu informed him. Betting for the donut race is already closed, but maybe you can try next round. You don't need to shout into that thing, Ricky stated. I'm standing right here. I'll announce the contestants in order of their popularity. Top spot goes to our idol and fellow foxy pirate, Porsche. Oh, you're too kind, Portia exclaimed as she blew kisses to the adoring foxy pirates. Joining her is the fisherman Capote. Their vessel is the cutie wagon led by the star shark Manda. Capote was a tall green swordfish fisherman with a long, pointed green nose and long red hair. He wore a blue and purple foxy pirate's cap, elbow-length blue gloves and a yellow vest with blue shoulder pads. Manda was a large orange shark with yellow stars covering his body. The shark wore a black and red foxy cap and was pulling a pink painted boat that looked like more of a chariot. Yeah! A foxy pirate cheered. Take him down, Porsche. You can do it. Hold on. Nami shouted from on top of the boat next to Portia. You've got a shark pulling your boat? I didn't hear him mention any rules about forbidding the use of sharks, Portia taunted. The second most popular team well, this is a surprise. It's the Straw Hat team of Navigator Nami, Sniper Usopp and Archaeologist Robin. Their official craft is the Barrel Tiger. For the Barrel Tiger, Usopp had cut all 3 of the barrels in half and attached them together. 3 of the barrel halves had been put together in a straight row while 2 others were attached to the side, which gave the Barrel Tiger a cross-like shape. The final barrel half had been used to make a curved fin on the back which doubled as a seat. That chick with the orange hair is smokin' hot, a foxy pirate exclaimed. I want that dark-haired babe to join our crew, another foxy pirate gushed. They can keep the guy, the first foxy pirate stated. Yeah, the other foxy pirate quickly agreed. Looks like the only thing our foxy crew cares about are the pretty girls, Itamamizu noted. What a bunch of hornballs. Hornballs? Ricky repeated. I voted for that one too, mostly based on who's driving it too. TMP. TMP. Nami stomped her foot on the Barrel Tiger. You're sure this won't sink? I keep telling you guys that I'm not a professional shipwright, Usopp reminded her. I know that it's at least better than those abominations. Usopp looked over to see the abominations that were being ridden by Luffy, Sanji, Zoro and Chopper. Luffy and Sanji's sloppily constructed ship was shaped like a long, thin sled and looked like the wood had all been randomly slapped together. It was almost completely flat with the exception being the 2 pieces of curled wood at the front. Just cause it floats doesn't mean it's a boat, Sanji grumbled. It's more like flotsam. Shishishishishi. Luffy laughed. Flotsam. Zoro and Chopper's boat was a very different model. They'd kept their barrels mostly intact. The first barrel had been partially dissected to form a water wheel. Chopper ran on the wheel to propel the boat forward. He held onto a smooth handrail that was coming out of the second barrel, and the third barrel had been taken apart to make the small deck that Zoro was standing on as he operated the rudder behind him. You're gonna do that the whole time? Zoro asked the running reindeer. Yup, Chopper answered as he continued to pedal the wheel in his heavy point form. It's a good thing I enjoy running, huh? It's a miracle those boats actually float, Robin remarked as she eyed their nakama's ships. Whap! Nami slapped her forehead. That means it's all on our shoulders if our crew's gonna win this race as usual. And coming in third on our list is the Harem Nocturne, a beautiful boat filled with beautiful women. The Harem Nocturne was smoothly designed so the back looked like a blooming flower. The raised petals of the flower provided perfect seats for the all-female crew while the front half kept the view from being obstructed. The crew consisted of 4 foxy pirates. One was blonde, one had mint green hair, one had pale orange hair and the last had pale purple hair. They also had a collection of wine bottles on the small table in the middle of the most round boat, so that meant it wasn't designed to go particularly fast. In 4th place we've got the Crab Crane, an old favorite in the top ranks. The Crab Crane was designed with 2 of the barrels cut in half and stuck together to seat the 3-man crew. The third barrel had been used to make the rudder and the decorative crab legs, crab claws and stalk-like crab eyes. In 5th and 6th place are the Swordfish King 1 and 2. Swordfish King 1 and 2 were identical with the exception of their paint color. The first ship was pale blue while the second was dark blue. Both ships were designed with 3 barrel halves attached together to sit 3 pirates single file. The leftover barrel parts made up the rudders and the pointed swords on the bow of each boat. In 7th place is the Party, Love and Pleasure boat. The Party, Love and Pleasure boat had been made using large barrels. It was a big rectangular ship shaped like a ferry and had a bar in the middle of it with a large barrel half as an awning. Hey, what's the big idea? Luffy complained. Aren't you even gonna mention our boat? Same here, Chopper added. What gives? I worked hard on this. Oh well, let's see. Ida Mimasa mumbled, then raised his hand, said, Dr. Chopper and Swordsman Zoro's boat, the basically barrels, is ha ha. Their boat is third to last in popularity. GAH. Chopper gasped in shock. They didn't like his boat? Sounds about right, Zoro admitted. I was expecting worse. And the at least IT floats boat, ha ha ha. Looks like they win the booby prize. Hey, what's a booby prize? Luffy asked. It means our boat is second to last, Sanji told him. There can't seriously be a boat that's worse than there, Usopp remarked. Coming in last on the list of popularity, we've got the giant barge, the behemoth mothership coaster. Eep. Usopp let out a high-pitched squeak of terror as a massive boat pulled up behind the barrel tiger. The boat was simply 3 huge barrels that had been attached together. One massive barrel was in front while other 2 massive barrels had been attached behind it. You're kidding me, Zoro scoffed. The oars can't be long enough to row that thing. And how are they supposed to steer it? Chopper wondered. Ha ha. A foxy pirate laughed as and his 2 teammates stood on top of the front barrel. Yeah, you guys are sharp. You're right about the oars. Way too short. And the damn thing is filled with seawater too. Not fair, Luffy grumbled, those jerks. Wait, there's no way that thing is just 3 barrels, Sanji protested. Sure it is, one of the other foxy pirates replied. That's all it is. We pieced together the 3 biggest barrels we could find. There ain't nothing in the rule book about how small your barrels gotta be. Okay. All of the boats are now at the starting line. The foxy pirates cheered at the first round finally getting underway. I'll continue to provide commentary throughout the race with a bird's eye view of the action from on top. Chirp Chirp, a rare South Blue Super Sparrow. Chirp Chirp the Super Sparrow was a huge 20-foot brown sparrow with a blue and white striped foxy cap on his head. Itamamizu hopped up onto the big bird's back. Hold on, Ricky called out as he leapt up onto the stage. I'm not just gonna stay here while everyone else races around the island. I'm gonna come along and provide color commentary. WHA what? Itamamizu sputtered. Hey, this is a one-person sparrow. Oh, I didn't really. Your big 20-foot bird was just a big weakling, Ricky commented. That pigeon probably couldn't handle the extra weight anyway. Chirp. Chirp Chirp took offense to that. Get on already, Itamamizu snapped. Ricky grinned and got on the big bird behind him. Chirp Chirp. Chirp Chirp flapped his wings and took off with the 2 pirates on his back. Woo! The foxy pirates cheered. Go Porsche! Yeah! Drown that long nose! Why me? Usopp yelped. That's it, Nami resolved, we have to win this now. Drowning is fair play, Robin pointed out. It's in the rules. Says the woman who can't swim, Nami growled. Wow, they think they have a chance at winning, Portia remarked. Let those fools think whatever they want to think, Portia, Capote said with a smug smile. We'll sink 'em right off the bat. Right, Manda? Chi-chi-why. The Star Shark agreed. I'm excited about this, Chopper exclaimed. What? About losing? Zoro questioned. Pay close attention, Usopp, Sanji warned the sniper. If anything happens to those 2 ladies, I'll eviscerate you. We are gonna win this race, Luffy insisted. I know it. Fee-fay-fa-fay. Foxy chuckled as he stood on the shore with Hamburg. That fool. He actually thinks they're going to win. What a riot. No one's ever beaten the foxy pirates. I doubt this race will even last 5 minutes. Am I right? Puh-puh-puh-puh. Hamburg laughed as he held his hands over his mouth. You know it. To ensure you don't get lost, we're providing each team with an eternal pose. Ida Mimizu turned back to Ricky. Make yourself useful and toss these down. Ida Mimizu and Ricky tossed eternal poses that were key to Long Ring Long Land down off of Chirp Chirp to the assorted ships at the starting line. Whap! Get lost? Nami repeated as she caught their eternal pose. Whap! Portia caught her team's eternal pose. Whap! Zoro caught the one for his team. Whiff! Luffy missed his pose, but Sanji managed to catch it before it fell into the water. Whap! Try not to wander too far from the island's coast. What's that doofus talking about? Nami wondered. Why would we leave the island? We're taking the inside track the whole way. I'm afraid it won't be that simple, Usopp said. What? Why not? Nami questioned. Take a look, Usopp pointed out. Except for that really big one, all the other boats are on the outside track facing out to the sea. Portia's cutie wagon, their barrel tiger, Chopper and Zoro's basically barrels, and Luffy and Sanji's at least it floats boat were all pulled up alongside each other on the side of the starting line that was closest to the island. The Crab Crane, the Harem Nocturne, the Swordfish King 1 and 2, and the Party, Love and Pleasure boat were all on the far side of the starting line that was away from the island. Mr. Longnose has a point, Robin noted. That's a big suspicious. Now on your marks, Ida Mimizu prompted. What's suspicious? Nami asked them. Tell me. I don't know, but I think they're up to something, Usopp insisted. He turned and called out to the other Straw Hats. Hey! Get away from the shoreline as soon as the race starts. Huh? How come? Luffy inquired. Get set. Schemed Foxy whispered as a wide fox-like smirk spread across his face. Bang! Ida Mimizu fired the starting gun. Gah! I've got a really bad feeling about this, Usopp exclaimed as he and Nami used their oars to paddle the barrel tiger away from the starting line. Then tell me why, Nami urged him. The only ship that didn't start to move away from the starting line was the behemoth mothership coaster. Push it, push it, push it. 8 foxy pirates on board chanted as they spun a control wheel. Time to reveal the secret of our boat, the foxy pirate on top of the front barrel boasted. It's got a sneaky little purpose. Crack, 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 the spinning wheel caused the end of the front barrel to slide open. Splush! The barrel was filled with sea water that came washing out as a huge wave that was filled with barrels. Hey! What are you? Ida Mimizu protested as Ricky pulled the handset away from him. I just thought I'd chime in here. Ricky's magnified voice went through the transponder snail's speakers. Wasn't there a rule about only using 3 barrels? That big one just spat out at least a dozen. Ida Mimizu pulled the handset back. Those are just extra barrels. They didn't use them for their ship. So what's with the barrels? Sanji wondered as he watched the barrels from the behemoth mothership coaster ride the wave towards them. Oh no! Usopp gasped in alarm as the barrels came to their boat. We didn't get far enough. What's the big deal? Nami asked. It's just a barrel. Nami reached out, prodded one of the barrels with her oar. And oh! Usopp shrieked. Nami! Don't! The barrel started to glow and exploded. KBOM. Wah! Nami and Usopp screamed as the explosion sent their barrel tiger flying up into the air. Hey guys, Ricky greeted them as they flew up past Chirp Chirp. And they've been released. KBOM. The old barrel mines. The coaster's trump card. Ida Mimizu smirked at Ricky. See? They're weapons. And all weapons are legal in the donut race. Bye guys, Ricky called out as the barrel tiger dropped back down past Chirp Chirp. Splush! Nami, Usopp and Robin splashed back down in the water with the barrel tiger mostly unharmed from the explosion. Hee hee hee. Portia giggled as she and Capote sailed past them on the cutie wagon. See you later, chumps. You're supposed to avoid sinking, you know. Wish us good luck. The barrel tiger crew groaned as they attempt to recover from the explosion. Chopper frantically blew on one of the barrels to get it away from his basically barrels boat. Go! Go away! I worked hard on this ship. Dumb bombs, Luffy grumbled. His and Sanji's boat was right next to Chopper, and they were both surrounded by barrel mines. I'll knock 'em all back. Gum gum. Cut it out, Luffy, Sanji admonished him. Stop! Chopper shouted. Are you trying to blow us out of the water? Calm down, Luffy told him. We've got to do something. Yeah, but that something can't involve touching them, Zoro pointed out. Luffy, toss that oar over here. Whiff. Luffy shrugged and threw his oar over to Zoro. Stand back and watch, Zoro prompted as he held the oar out and started to spin it. Swish, 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 swish. Zoro's spinning or created a breeze that started to blow the barrel mines away from their ships. Swish. Zoro slashed the oar like a sword, and the added gust of air sent the barrel mines sailing back the way they came. Wah! The foxy pirates on the behemoth mothership Boaster yelped as their barrel mines drifted back through the starting line towards their ship. They're coming back this way. Wah! Abandoned ship! The foxy pirates scam led and dove off their ship. Splash! 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 TNK! The first barrel mine hit the front of the coaster. K-boom! That barrel mine was quickly followed by the others. K-boom boom boom boom. Ricky yanked the handset away from Ida Mimizu. I'll announce it if you won't. The behemoth mothership coaster has been blown to smithereens. That means they're out of the race. Give that back. Ida Mimizu snapped as he yanked the handset back from Ricky. Sanji smiled as he watched the barrel mines blow up the behemoth mothership coast, but then his eyes widened in horror when he saw the huge wave that had resulted from the large collection of explosions. Miss Nami! Miss Robin! Sanji called out ahead of them. Look! Hit the deck and hold on tight. We've got to ride this wave. Splush! The behemoth coaster sank and made the wave get even bigger. Crush! The wave washed right over the starting line and broke it apart. Aya! Usopp screamed. We can't ride that. Donut race. Splush! The huge wave rushed forward and swept up the basically barrels and the At Least It Floats boat as it rushed forward. Yahoo! Luffy cheered as their boat surfed on the huge wave. This is awesome! Chunk! A piece of wood snapped off of Luffy's sloppy ship. Damn it, she's starting to break up on us. Sanji warned Luffy. This is terrifying. Chopper wailed as he frantically pedaled the basically barrels. Man, that's cold, Zoro noted as crown of the wave curved up over their heads and dripped water down on them. Wah! Not good. One of the foxy pirates shrieked as the Swordfish King 1 and 2 were washed up over the wave. Splush! Hang on! Nami shouted to Usopp and Robin. The Barrel Tiger was swept up by the wave and quickly caught up with the other foxy pirate boats. I can't believe it! Ida Mimizu cried out from just above the wave. The Straw Hat teams are using that wave to zip to the front of the race. This is incredible, folks. No way! Portia gasped from the front of the pack. They're about to catch up with us. Let's go, Manda! Put every ounce of strength into it. Sha! The shark agreed as he started to swim faster. Hey you guys! Portia called back to the Harem Nocturne and the party, Love and Pleasure boat. We could really use some backup. Yeah! The men on the party, Love and Pleasure boat cheered. Right. The ladies on the Harem Nocturne agreed. Whoosh, the wave gave out and Luffy and Chopper's boats slowed to a stop. Huff huff, Chopper panted as he shrunk back down to his tiny hybrid form and hung from the handlebar. It's finally died down. But it didn't exactly leave the raft in the best condition, Sanji noted as he eyed the bad condition of the already sloppy ship. Shishishishi. Luffy laughed. That was fun. I hope something causes another wave. Shut up. Sanji snapped at him. Another wave would flatten this lame boat you built. I just hope the girls are okay. Sanji looked right past Zoro and Chopper on the basically barrels and spotted Nami and Robin on the Barrel Tiger. There they are. But before they could catch up, the party, Love and Pleasure boat pulled up alongside them. You guys looking for a party? The crew on the party, Love and Pleasure boat called out. The Harem Nocturne pulled up on their other side. Well, hello there, gentlemen, the female crew greeted them. Oh! Sanji gasped with hearts in his eyes at the sight of the foxy pirates. Huh! Zoro grunted as he looked up at the foxy pirate on the party, Love and Pleasure boat. What do you want? His hand went to his swords. Relax, guys, the Foy pirate reassured them. This is a friendly visit. I hope you like fish and noodles, the bartender on the party, Love and Pleasure boat called out as he set 2 plates on the counter in front of Luffy. Free of charge. For real? Luffy questioned. How cool. Thank you. Sanji was in heaven as he found himself as the close embrace of the mint and orange-haired female foxy pirates. Why is it that all the good cooks like you are already taken? The orange-haired woman flirted as she kissed Sanji on the cheek. Your curly eyebrows are so cute, the mint-haired woman gushed as she practically sat in Sanji's lap. You know, I've gotta say, the love-struck cook remarked, with a crew like this I won't mind if I get Davy backed. Chopper hid behind his handlebars as one of the male foxy pirates smiled down at him. You must be exhausted, not to mention hot in that fur coat, he noted. It's not a fur coat, Chopper yelled at him. Whoa, easy there, I'm sorry, the foxy pirate quickly apologized. Let me make it up to you. Would a candy apple be a good start? The foxy pirate grinned as he held out a red candy apple to the reindeer. What's a candy apple? Chopper asked. Is it sweet? Tunk. Zoro slammed an empty mug of grog down onto the counter. Ah, that's good stuff, his swordsman commented. Hey, we need another refill down here, one of the foxy pirates that was drinking with Zoro called out to the bartender. The brew is on us, so drink up. Thanks, Zoro replied. You guys are alright. Update. Item Mimiza called out as Chirp Chirp circled above the completely stopped basically barrels. At least it floats boat, Harem Nocturne and the party, Love and Pleasure boat. It looks like the Pleasure boat and the Harem Nocturne have made their move, the party distraction. And they've lurched in 2 Straw Hats boats, for a KO. What do you say to that, color commentator? Huh. Your guys fell for it hook, line and sinker. Ricky took the handset. Well, they were lost causes from the start. Your guys had better watch out or they'll run out of food and booze. Besides, my boat's still in this race. Nami stood on the barrel tiger and glared back at her ensnared Nakama. Come on. We're in the middle of a race, you jerks. Hee hee, Portia giggled as she smirked back at Nami. You really shouldn't worry about those guys. If I were you, I'd worry about my own boat right now. Portia turned to her fisherman companion. Alright, Capote, give them a taste of your fisherman karate. Yeah. Capote cheered. Surface splitter. Capote slashed his arm down and chopped the water behind the cutie wagon. Capote used his fistman's strength to cut straight through the water and sent a blast racing towards the barrel tiger. Slush. Chunk. Robin jumped to the side just as Capote's attack broke off the barrel she had been standing on. The boat is breaking apart. Usopp yelled in alarm. Ah! Nami shrieked as the barrel tiger rocked in the wave. Hey Sanji! Ricky shouted into the handset he was still holding. Wake up! Nami and Robin are in trouble. Sanji's eyes snapped open. Miss. Nam. Miss. Robin! Sanji bolted straight out of the Harem Nocturne and grabbed Luffy's collar and yanked him off the bar and back onto their boat. Come on! The girls need our help. Let's go! Chopper, let's move! Zoro instructed as he jumped from the bar to the basically barrels. Huh? Chopper asked with a mouth full of candy apple. Ida Mimizu tore the handset away from Ricky. Hey! No interfering in the race. Don't worry, Nami. I'm coming, Robin. Sanji called out as he frantically paddled away from the party distraction towards the ladies in distress. Wait. Don't leave us. The orange-haired foxy pirate called after him. Come back. The blonde foxy pirate cried out. I'll never forget your curly eyebrow. The mink-haired foxy pirate vowed. Our balance, we've got to stay balanced, Usopp warned Nami and Robin as the damaged barrel tiger rocked away and threatened to capsize. Usopp pulled out his slingshot and fired it at Capote. Eat this. Fire star. FWO swish. Capote swatted Usopp's fire attack away. No thanks, he retorted. Behind Usopp, Robin crossed her arms over her chest. Ocho fleur. 6 arms grew out of Capote's big green body and wrenched his arms back. Go what, the Capote growled as he struggled against Robin's arms. Capote! Portia called out in alarm. And flip. The 2 final arms grew out of Capote's waist and touched the ground. FWP. The 2 arms pushed off of the deck of the cutie wagon and launched Capote up into the air. Wham! Capote slammed head first down on top of Manda. Perfect! Nami exclaimed. Now's our chance. Usopp, jump in the water and pull the boat. Are you crazy? Usopp snapped at her. Capote, Manda, get it together. Portia urged her shark and fishman. Alright folks, currently in the lead is everyone's all-time favorite, the cutie wagon. Yoink! Ricky pulled the handset away from Ida Minazu. But Nami, Usopp, and Robin in the Barrel Tiger are gaining on them. Hey! Get your own, Itama Mizu complained as he yanked the handset back. And in third place is the Crab Crane. Ricky leaned in and spoke into the handset anyway. The At Least It Floats boat is in fourth and the Basically Barrels is behind them in fifth place. Okay, Foxy resolved on the shore. I think it's about time that we get to work, Hamburg. Really? Hamburg asked. Oh boy, I was hoping you'd say that. Foxy and Hamburg smirked at each other. Mississippi Nami. Mississippi Robin. Just hang tight, Sanji said as he frantically patted the boat. I'm gonna save you. Luffy sat on the back of the boat and stared at Sanji. Then his eyes drifted down, and he spotted a broken piece of wood behind the cook. I just had the best idea ever, Luffy announced. Sanji, throw me that board. Shum! Second later, the At Least It Floats boat blasted off like it was a motorboat and streaked through the water. Whoa! This is really fast, Sanji exclaimed. I know. Right? Luffy agreed as he leaned off the back and propelled the boat forward. I'm on my way, Sanji shouted. Just hold on, ladies. Zoro and Chopper were left behind as Chopper pumped the pedal wheel harder than ever. But they had no way in catching up with whatever Luffy had done to give his boat a big boost. We're getting nowhere here, Zoro pointed out. I'm pretty sure we'd be faster if we paddled. Yeah, well, the things as Chopper told him, I kind of used the oars to make this handle. Swyish. Zoro stiffened as he heard a boat approaching from behind them. He quickly drew his sword and slashed it. Slish slish. Shunk! The back barrel and the rudder of the Basically Barrels flew off and sunk onto the hard, pointed bows of the Swordfish King 1 and 2. Zoro leaned back against the handrail, while Chopper stared at the foxy pirates in shock. What? Chopper gasped. If Zoro hadn't shot the barrel onto those sharp points would have gone through them. He, the foxy pirates chuckled. Skish! Zoro jumped from the Basically Barrels and landed on the front of Swordfish King 1 and 2. Not even a hello, huh? Zoro remarked as he surveyed the 6 attacking foxy pirates. Not our style, the foxy pirate in the front of Swordfish King 2 retorted. We believe in winning any way we can. Really? Zoro questioned. Well, in that case, Zoro drew 2 of his swords and crossed his arms. The blades were pointed outward like the horns of a bull. Bull needles! Slish 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 slish. Zoro lunged forward and jabbed his swords into the 6 foxy pirates, and their 2 ships. Kroom! Swordfish King 1 and 2 broke apart, and the crew dropped into the water. Splash! Zoro landed in the water behind the wreckage he'd left in his wake. Go Zoro! Chopper cheered as Zoro's short green hair broke the surface and looked just like the moss ball that Sanji always called him. GR, the lead foxy pirate on Swordfish King 2, growled as he clung to the broken front of his ship. If we're going down, we're taking you with us. Bang! He fired the pointed nose from Swordfish King 2 at the Basically Barrels. Chopper! Look out! Zoro warned the reindeer. Boom! Swordfish King 2's nose pierced through the Basically Barrels and broke it to pieces. Chopper went crashing down into the sea with the wreckage of his ship. Splash! Splish! Zoro dove underwater after Chopper. The Basically Barrels and the Swordfish King boats have been sunk. They're all officially disqualified. Splish! Zoro broke the surface with Chopper in his arms. You okay? They broke my boat, Chopper cried. I worked so hard on it. Hey, but you're okay, so that's what matters, Zoro reminded him. Right, thank you, Zoro, Chopper replied. You hear that? Usopp asked Nami and Robin. They're out of the race. Which means we're our only hope, Nami moped. Robin seemed unconcerned as she was now sitting on the fin casually reading a book. Wait a sec. Nami suddenly perked up. Why don't we just use one of your dials? Oh, good idea. Usopp agreed as he pulled out a shell. We can give this breath dial a shot. Usopp looked down and pressed dial against the back of the Barrel Tiger with the opening facing outward. Chunk! Yawa! Usopp yelled in pain as a crab claw snapped closed on his wrist. He dropped the dial and lurched backwards. Usopp! Nami cried out in alarm. She looked past him to see the crab crane and the 3 grinning foxy pirates that were driving it. Nice try, one of the foxy pirates taunted. But no one finished this race but Portia. Usopp stammered as he held his bloody wrist. Is the baby gonna cry? Another foxy pirate mocked him. You made me drop my dial, Usopp yelled. Do you have any idea what we had to go through to get those things? Dial? The first foxy pirate repeated. You mean that shell? Ha! I knew it looked important. We were aiming to take your hand off, but I guess making you lose your toy works too. Take this. Usopp snapped as he pulled out his slingshot, exploding star. Shoo! Usopp fired a round and it impacted with the middle of the crab crane, K-boom. The crab crane exploded and the 3 foxy pirates dropped into the water. Whoa, Usopp! Nami gasped. What was that? Oh, sorry, Usopp apologized. I didn't mean to lose my cool. No, that was incredible, Nami insisted. Chirp chirp flew overhead. The crab crane has been destroyed and is now disqualified. Ricky pulled the handset away from Ida Mimizu. Way to go, Usopp. The pleasure boat and the harem Noxure have dropped out of the race. So that means the only ones left are Portia and the cutie wagon, Nami, Usopp and Robin and the Barrel Tiger and Luffy and Sanji that are coming in fast with the At Least It Floats boat. Alright, so it's down to us and that chick with the fishman, Nami resolved. Usopp, do you have another dial to catch up with them? Maybe a jet dial? Are you kidding? Usopp exclaimed. Do you know how rare those are? How about an impact dial? Robin suggested. You know, I think I must have left it back on the Mary, Usopp replied. Robin stared silently at Usopp. What? Usopp demanded. You don't believe me? Oh, come on. Do you genuinely think that I would lie about something this important? We're talking about losing one of our nakama. I didn't say anything, Robin stated. He's right, Nami said. If we lose, I just know they'll take me first. I just know it. Why do I have to be so cute? You could always try winning, a voice overhead suggested. You stay out of this, Nami shouted up at him. Nobody asked you. Swift. Robin casually sat down and went back to her book. Robin, Nami complained, this isn't the time to be reading. I'm rowing too, Robin pointed out. She was using 4 extra arms to control Nami and Usopp's oars and paddle the Barrel Tiger forward. Well, yeah, your hands are, Nami agreed, but you're not really focused on it. This is important, Robin, Usopp insisted. You've got to work hard. I am working hard, Robin reminded him as she continued to multitask with paddling the boat and reading her book. Yeah, working hard at archaeology, Usopp argued. Up ahead, Portia twirled a baton and turned to Capote. What do you think? Should we head for the finish line or should we enjoy sinking them first? I enjoy casually strolling through the finish line as much as the next guy, Capote admitted, but I want to make that woman suffer. Simply winning this thing ain't gonna be enough for me anymore. And the race has officially entered its climactic moments. He means all the fodder have been removed and it's down to the ones that were going to win it from the beginning. Shut up. The cutie wagon is holding on to its lead spot, but the Barrel Tiger is right behind him, and the At Least It Floats boat is hey, where'd the At Least It Floats boat go? Shum! The Luffy propelled At Least It Floats boat surged past the Barrel Tiger. Sanji held back his oar, which Nami grabbed and allowed the fast boat to pull them along. Whoosh! The At Least It Floats boat caught up with the cutie wagon. Fancy meeting you here, Sanji greeted Portia with a suave smile as they went past. See ya, chumps, Nami taunted as the Barrel Tiger whizzed by after Luffy. How are they even going so fast? Portia exclaimed. Wawa, the Luffy motor suddenly groaned. No more strength. Shom, the 2 straw hat boats slowed to a complete stop. Luffy lumped over the end of the boat, while his twisted rubber arms and broken board that he'd been using as a propeller dangled in the sea water. Gum gum screw, Luffy mumbled as the contact with the water finally took its toll on him. Fast but no fast, no more sleep now. I think he's given it all he's got, Robin observed. Hey, we better get to paddling before we lose our edge, Usopp reminded them. Swoosh! Manda shot past them with the cutie wagon in tow. Capote was now seated in the back and had taken up the oars to increase their speed. Thanks for handing first place to us. Portia mocked the Straw Hats as they went past. Ah man, Nami complained. And we just passed those guys. Ha! Capote laughed as he paddled from the back of the QD wagon. And that's the last time you'll even see us. Huh? What the? Capote looked down to see that Robin had used a chain of arms to grab onto the back of the QD wagon. Now the foxy pirates were dragging the two Straw Hat ships along behind them. How's this work for you? Robin asked. Excellent, Robin, Nami cheered. That is downright cheating, Capote yelled. The swordfish fishman pulled out a sword and swung at Robin's arm chain. Let go! Swish! Robin's arms disappeared and the fisherman was overbalanced from his swing and toppled into the water. Splush! It's too bad they noticed so quickly, Robin remarked. Capote, no! Portia cried out as she ran to back of the QD wagon and peered into the water for any signs of the fishman. Splush! Capote broke the surface and looked furious. RA8! He roared. They're gonna pay. Are you guys ready to go again? Nami turned and asked Sanji and Luffy. Luffy was still slumped mostly unconscious on the back of his boat. I get the feeling he's gonna be like this for a while, Sanji noted. Let's just keep paddling with all we've got, Usopp tried to rally the team. We've got to catch up with them before they get an even bigger lead on us. You're right, Nami agreed. Let's paddle. I guess we'll be sinking them after all, Portia resolved as she spun her gold baton. A very wet Capote was behind her on the QD wagon. Oh! Ida Mimiza gasped. They're now approaching the most fearsome obstacles on the course. First is the long coral reef, and just beyond that foreboding and difficult patch is the dreaded long ring whirlpool of Long Cape. Up ahead of the three boats was a coral reef with long pink coral that stuck out of the water for a good 15 feet. Past the coral reef was a large dark whirlpool and a patch of land that jutted out from the island. Oh, and well, I'll be talk about unexpected. Yoink! Guys, you've got company. I don't think they're here just to get a closer view. What now? Robin wondered. The Straw Hats looked towards the shore and a cloud of dust. The cloud was being kicked up by Hamburg as he ran along the shore line on all fours with Foxy riding on his back. Give me that! It's full dash Hamburg at full speed. And riding atop him is the master of obstruction himself, the scourge of fairness, and the greatest scoundrel of all time, our boss, Silver Fox Foxy. It's him, Nami realized as she stared at the foxy pirate's captain as he rode along the shore. I've just come up with a brilliant idea, Foxy boasted. From that flattering description the loudmouth just gave, it looks like you guys are going to have to deal with some interference. Interference. This race is really heating up, Ida Mimizu announced from overhead. The next course obstacle, the long coral reef, is dead ahead. Leading the race is Porsche and the QD wagon. Pursuing close behind are the Straw Hats and the Barrel Tiger, and at least it floats. Whoa, they're like Chopper's antlers, Luffy remarked as he eyed the tall tree-like pieces of pink coral up ahead. He had recovered from his contact with the water and was now paddling his sloppy boat along with Sanji. Why is the coral in this reef so long? Robin wondered. And why is it sticking out like that? Sanji added. Let's just get through it. Look, Nami pointed out. The reef is causing some unusual currents to form. Under Nami's direction the Straw Hats stared ahead of them and noted the currents that were swirling around the large pieces of coral. Going in blind's not a good idea. Ugh, I can't believe this stupid race has lasted this long, Portia complained. We're counting on you, Manda, Capote urged the Star Shark. Manda put on a burst of speed and surged ahead towards the long coral reef. And don't forget, Ida Mimizu added, there's someone on land looking for every opportunity to sabotage this race. Our boss, Silver Fox Foxy. Are you sure that's legal? Ricky asked as he leaned in towards the handset. Of course it is. Everything's legal in the donut race. It doesn't seem very sportsmanlike though. He wants to get involved but he's too scared to actually compete. Sounds like Foxy's a chicken. You take that back, Foxy shouted up into the air. I'm not scared. Poo-poo-poo-poo, Hamburg laughed. I think he hit the nail on the head. He's just kidding, sir. Ida Mimizu reassured the self-conscious captain. We all love your antics and how you're always there to support us. I can't wait to see what you have in store for us. Foxy perked back up and laughed. Fee-fay-fa-fay. I've got something special in store for those straw hats. Yeah. Get 'em, boss. The Foxy pirates cheered as they listened to the race from the carnival at the starting line. Wait. What's this? The straw hats are slowing down. Come on, Nami. Usopp urged the navigator. Keep rowing. Not yet, Nami told him. Not yet? Usopp repeated. They're getting even further ahead of us. I know, okay, Nami replied, we're not going in yet. She turned and looked back at the captain and the cook. Sanji, you wait here too. Anything you say, Nami dear. Sanji happily agreed. The cutie wagon takes advantage of this opportunity and plunges forward into the long coral reef. Let's go, Manda, Portia called out. Manda sailed ahead into the forest of pink coral. Swish! But the strong spiraling currents took control of the cutie wagon and whipped it around the coral. Wah! What's happening? Portia yelped. Swoosh! The current spat the cutie wagon right back out of the coral. Huh, they came back, Usopp noted. What? The cutie wagon has been pushed back out of the reef. What's happening down there? Don't look at me. When it comes to navigation, that brilliant woman is on a whole different level. The rest of us just hang on for the ride. I don't understand. Portia whined. What happened? See, I knew there was something weird about those currents, Nami pointed out. Now, let's get going, Usopp. Right, Usopp agreed as he started paddling. You too, Sanji. Nami called out behind them. Pick up the pace and follow me. Aye. Sanji replied as he and Luffy started to paddle after the others. Let's try this again, Manda, Portia prompted the Star Shark. Come on. Nami ordered Usopp as they paddled past the cutie wagon. What's this? The straw hats are picking up speed. All three boats are about to enter the long coral reef at the same time. The three boats entered the coral reef, but only one was immediately spat back out. Why does that keep happening? Portia demanded. Wow. The barrel tiger and at least its floats haven't been pushed back out. Foxy stood on the shore and watched the two straw hat boats snake their way through the forest of tall pink coral. Shoo! An arrow was shot from the shore and hit a piece of coral ahead of the barrel tiger. Whoosh! A thick cloud of smoke sprayed out from the arrow and covered the reef. Hey! I can't see! Usopp exclaimed. Fee-fay-fa-fay! Foxy laughed as he stood on shore with his bow. H-H-A! There it is! The devilish interference we've all been waiting for. You've gotta be kidding, Sanji complained. What's that idiot up to? Hey, I can't see where we're going, Luffy pointed out. And there you have it, Foxy boasted. Operation Whiteout is a success. Let's see how you navigate through that reef when you can't even see it. You sure it worked? Hamburg asked. Puh-puh-puh-puh. Wish. The two straw hat boats sailed straight out of the smoke cloud and further into the long coral reef. What the hell? Foxy's eyes bugged out as he watched his brilliant plan go up in smoke. Well, it was supposed to go up in smoke, but it hadn't worked. They made it through with no trouble at all. How is that possible? Puh-puh-puh-puh. Hamburg laughed and pounded the ground with his hand. I called it. Hey Foxy, if that's the kind of lame interference we can count on from you, I don't know why I was worried. He thought my plan was lame, Foxy whimpered and hung his head. Incredible. The straw hats are sailing through the long coral reef with ease. And the cutie wagon still can't even make it more than 5 feet in. You shut up. Hey, the boat is moving on its own, Usopp realized. He and Nami had stopped paddling as the barrel tiger weaved its way through the forest of coral. What's going on here, Nami? This place is a maze of currents, Nami explained. That giant whirlpool ahead of us is causing smaller whirlpools to form in the reef. That's what's causing these strange currents. So it doesn't matter if we can't see. Their course won't change. We took the right entrance, so the currents will guide the boat along all by themselves. Incredible! Usopp exclaimed. You're a miracle! That's what you get when you've got the best navigator in the Grand Line on your crew. Take that. Nami Swan! Sanji practically sang. You're amazing! And thanks to Nami, the barrel tiger and at least it floats have taken the 2 top spots while the cutie wagon has fallen all the way back to 3rd place. I said shut up. They won't be celebrating for long. Once they're out of the reef, they'll head straight into the long ring whirlpool. Long reef, long ring, Usopp muttered. It's just one long thing after another. Alright Usopp, hurry up and use it, Nami prompted. Use what? Usopp asked. The impact dial, Nami replied. But I don't have it with me though, Usopp insisted. No. Oh yeah? Nami retorted, then what's this? Nami pulled out the impact dial that she'd stolen out of Usopp's bag when he hadn't been looking. What the wind did, how did you? Usopp sputtered as Nami shoved the dial up against his long nose. Come on, Nami said, if you don't use it soon we'll be sucked down into that giant whirlpool. But those things are supposed to hurt the person that uses them, Usopp protested. If I use it I'll break my shoulder. That's a risk I'm willing to take, Nami told him. That's because it's my shoulder, Usopp snapped. Impact dial. Luffy and Sanji encouraged Usopp from behind. Come on, Nami urged him. We're running out of time here. So that's why you've been acting so calm, Usopp realized. You've had this plan from the very beginning, didn't you? If you don't do it we'll die, Nami reminded him. Well, it's been a nice life, Usopp whimpered. Robin stood up and crossed her arms. Viente Fleur, a long chain of arms sprouted out of the back of the barrel tiger and grabbed onto at least it floats. Now, do it, Mr. Longnose. Do it, my but Usopp growled. Fine, then Usopp stretched his hand down and slapped the dial against the back of the barrel tiger. Impact. Shum! The barrel tiger was blasted forward into the whirlpool and dragged Luffy and Sanji along behind them. The barrel tiger, and at least it floats, have picked up some tremendous speed. Way to take one for the team, Usopp. Wait. They haven't just increased speed. They're flying. Hush, the 2 straw hat boats flew straight over the eye of the whirlpool and quickly cleared the rest of it. The barrel tiger arced up over the top of the long stretch of land behind the whirlpool. They're leaping right over Long Cape. And the cutie wagon still hasn't even made it into the long coral reef. The Straw Hats are going to win this race with a 1-2 finish. KRAK. Ah. Sanji gasped as the worn wood at the front of at least it floats broke off in Robin's extra hands. Oh crap. With the barrel tiger no longer pulling them along, Luffy and Sanji started to plummet downward. Oh crap. This isn't good. Wah! Oops, it broke, Robin remarked. Splush! The barrel tiger splashed down on the far side of Long Cape, while at least it floats crashed down on Long Cape and broke apart. Crush! HHA. There goes your 1-2 finish. At least it floats has crashed on Long Cape and broken into pieces. It can no longer continue the race. They're now disqualified. I'm so sorry, Nami, my dear, Sanji called after the barrel tiger. Don't worry about us. Just continue the race. Okay, we will, Nami replied. She grabbed a paddle while Robin grabbed the other, and they paddled off ahead. When you think about it, this race was always going to come down to the barrel tiger and the cutie wagon. After that last maneuver, the Straw Hats have gained a huge lead. They've cleared all 3 obstacles while the cutie wagon hasn't even gotten through the long coral reef yet. Portia and Capote glared up at the Super Sparrow and the Straw Hat commentator. We were way too easy on them, Capote growled. Hang on tight, Portia. I'm counting on you, Portia replied. Skish! Capote leapt off the front of the cutie wagon. Combine! 2 fish engine. Capote came down and landed in Manda's mouth. The swordfish fishman started to paddle his big green arms while the star shark flailed its fins and along with him. Shum! With the power of a fishman and a shark combined, the cutie wagon surged into the long coral reef and tore through the currents like they were nothing. HHA. See that? They're not out of the race yet. Using fishman muscle and the fins of a shark, the cutie wagon has doubled its speed. They're blazing through the coral and closing the gap. This race is far from over. Usopp! Nami yelled down at the sniper as she and Robin's extra arms paddled their boat. Get up and start paddling. Your arm seems to be bending the wrong way, Robin noted. Wah! Usopp screamed. One arm was nearly broken while the other wrist was still bleeding from getting clamped by the crab crane. Now both my arms are hurt. What is that? Robin asked as she stared off the front of the boat. Nami turned to look and saw a wooden sign in the water in front of them that read Donut Race. Turn right. It looks like a course marker. Turn right, Robin recited. Huh, I guess we'll turn right then, Nami remarked. Wham! She lashed out and smashed her fist through the side. Like hell we will. Gah! Foxy gasped as his fake sign went flying past his head. She broke it. Our boss ploy number 18, Operation Fake Detour, has failed. What a formidable woman. Does she not believe in anything in this world? Can it, jackass? Nami yelled up at the announcer. A weak trick like that will never work on Nami. She saw right through it. You shut up too, bastard. Nami snapped. Hey, don't rope me in with him. Wow, and she's foul-mouthed too. The race continues with the Barrel Tiger maintaining its strong lead. Splush! Suddenly a jet of water shot up in front of the Barrel Tiger like a geyser. Wah! Usopp yelped as the Barrel Tiger shot upward, then came down, and was immediately blasted back up by another tall geyser. Splush! What are these columns of water? Nami shrieked in alarm as the Barrel Tiger was blasted up and down by a series of the geyser-like waves. They are now clearing the long waves. Those are the signature waves around Long Ring Long Land that reach high into the sky. Is that supposed to be natural? Usopp wondered once they had finally cleared the long waves. Oh, Grandma, an ugly little boy that looked a lot like Hamburg, was crying on the shore as he knelt over his sick grandma who had Foxy's signature nose. Oh boss, oh Grandma. My time on this earth is over, Grandma groaned on the ground. The boss unleashes his third nasty trick. Nami sailed the Barrel Tiger right past the crying boy and his grandma. Hey! Dying old lady over here! Grandma shouted after them. Unbelievable! She completely ignored a child and his sick grandmother. What a cold-hearted ice queen! I told you to ken it! Nami spat. I'd never fall for a ridiculous trick like that. I'm not allowed to call her cute anymore, so I'll just say she's feisty. Damn right you're not! Nami snapped. Hey look! Usopp exclaimed. It's the finish line! Up ahead was a banner that read goal in big red letters. The crowd was strangely absent. This race will soon be decided. Not so fast. Portia called out. The cutie wagon had cleared the other obstacles while the Straw Hats were dealing with Foxy's antics, and now the Barrel Tiger's lead was shrinking. The cutie wagon is closing in quickly. These are the final moments of round 1's donut race. Who will win? Foxy the Silver Fox. Who will win? I already told you, Nami's saying. These lame tricks won't work. Crack! Nami lashed out her fist and broke one of the support beams for the gold banner. Foxy gaped in shock on the shore as Nami completely no-sold his fake banner. Puh-puh-puh-puh. Hamburg found the whole situation hilarious and laughed behind Foxy's back. She even sees through Operation Fake Goal. Formidable. Truly formidable. Come on. Nami barked at Usopp as they paddled through the fake goal sign and continued the race. And now, I have a question for her. Ida Mimizu announced as Chirp Chirp flew over the Barrel Tiger. What is it like to go through life so jaded? Piss off! Nami yelled up at the loudmouth announcer. It's too later for her. Her heart is cold. She has no soul. You know, she's been a major bitch to me lately, so part of me thinks I should let those comments slide. But on the other hand... Pow! Wah-wah! Ida Mimizu screamed as he went flying off of Chirp Chirp. Crash! And landed on the Barrel Tiger. Nami stood in front of him with an evil aura flaring around her. Hey! I was just kidding! Ida Mimizu assured her. But if you attack me, you'll just be proving me right. Swish swish! Nami swung her paddle like a bow staff, then spun and drove the flat end into the loud-mouthed announcer's face. Kiyarak! Ida Mimizu went flying off of the Barrel Tiger and crashed down onto the shore of Long Ring Long Land unconscious. Whump! What a slobber knocker! Ricky commented up on Chirp Chirp with Ida Mimizu's snail. It appears that Ida Mimizu has fallen off the sparrow and is now unconscious. I guess this means that I'll have to take over on commentary for the remainder of the race. Let's go, Bird, you've still got a job to do. That was sweet of him, Robin remarked. Nami spun around to stare at her. He practically gift-trapped that loud mouth for you. Whatever, Nami wrote it off. Let's get back to the race. The real goal must be nearby, Robin reasoned. We're getting close. I'm not using that dial again, Usopp insisted. His arm had only just recovered. Yeah, I know, Nami replied. The Barrel Tiger is racing towards the goal. But it looks like there actually is someone stupid enough to fall for that fake goal scheme. The cutie wagon has come to a complete stop. Talk about your all-time backfires. Wait. What's going on? Portia questioned as she stared at the fake goal line in confusion. Who won the race? Where did everybody go? Capote wondered. Looks like the only ones stupid enough to fall for that fake goal are the Foxy crew. What? You mean this goal is a fake? Portia shrieked. Who would do something so evil? Capote demanded. He called my tricks stupid, Foxy whimpered as he slumped on the ground. Maybe they are, none of them worked, Hamburg pointed out. Pupa. Those guys are complete idiots, Nami remarked as she and Usopp frantically paddled. I'd die of embarrassment if I lost to one of them. They'd take one of our crew too, Usopp reminded Nami of. That's worse. The Barrel Tiger has increased their lead, and according to this map that Ida Mimisa left behind, they are now approaching the long bamboo cape. The real goal is just beyond it. The Straw Hats are in the home stretch. What do you know, he's right, Nami realized, there's the finish line. Wait up, Portia shouted as she raced after the Barrel Tiger. Mondo was still pulling the cutie wagon, but Capote had gone back to paddling from the back. They're catching up to us, Usopp exclaimed. There's no way we'll beat them at this speed, Robin pointed out. I've got an idea, Nami announced. Usopp, can you shoot down that bamboo? Bamboo? Usopp repeated. Sure. Usopp drew his slingshot and stretched it back. All right. Boom! Boom! Usopp rounds exploded and 2 of the 30-foot-high bamboo stalks started to fall over. Like that? Yeah, but more, Nami instructed. Capote! Manda! Move it! Portia yelled. Full speed ahead. We'll ram them and sink that stupid boat to the bottom of the ocean. Shoo! Usopp fired another batch of exploding rounds from his slingshot. Boom bom 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 bom. The rounds exploded and toppled another bunch of bamboo. Take that. Wah! Portia wailed as they passed underneath the falling bamboo. Crash SBLOSH. The tall bamboo stalks crashed down onto and all around the cutie wagon. Bingo! Nami cheered. Thanks to some skillful shooting from Sniper Usopp, the Straw Hats have slowed down the cutie wagon using the long bamboo. It looks like they knocked out that fishman. Oh no! Capote! Portia gasped as she knelt over the unconscious swordfish fishman. He had a large lump on his head. Say something! Portia growled as she glared after the Barrel Tiger. I've had it. They're gonna pay for this. Heads up, guys, I think she's using that baton of hers as a weapon. Cutie baton! Portia shouted as she spun her gold baton around at her side. A dozen roses flew out from the baton. What's that? Usopp asked as they looked back at Portia. Some kind of magic flower trick? Flower shuriken. Whoosh! Portia lashed out her baton and sent the flowers flying ahead of her at the Straw Hats. Oh, flower shuriken WAH. Flower shuriken. Usopp yelped as sharp blades popped out of the flowers as they flew at the Barrel Tiger. Look out! Whoop! Wish! Shunk! Nami dove for cover while Usopp held his arsenal bag up in front of his face. But while the Straw Hats had managed to avoid getting hit, one of the shuriken had pierced through the back of the Barrel Tiger. Oh no, Robin gasped as water flowed through the hole. We've sprung a leak! The Barrel Tiger's been hit. They're taking on water. Don't worry, we can make it, Nami insisted. We're almost to the goal. Keep paddling. Up ahead was the Foxy Pirates ship, the Y Foxy. The real goal banner was just ahead of it. Both boats have made it almost all the way around the island. The finish is in sight. The first round of the Davy back fight is quickly coming to an end. Come on, Porsche! The Foxy Pirates on the shore cheered on the crew idle. Keep going, Manda! Portia encouraged the Star Shark while Capote still laid unconscious behind her. We can't let them beat us. She-I! Manda shrieked and put on another burst of speed. We're going to lose if we don't do something, Foxy said as he rode Hamburg along the shore. Bring us up alongside them. Right, boss, Hamburg agreed. I can't see, Chopper complained as he jumped and tried to see over the crowd of foxy pirates at the finish line. Zoro sat nearby and drank some grog. Made it just in time, Sanji remarked as he and Luffy pushed through the crowd. All right, Luffy cheered. Nami's team is winning. Robin baby. Nami my darling. Sanji swooned. You look so hot when you're going fast. Chopper managed to crawl through a foxy pirate's legs and popped up next to Luffy. Man, you guys almost won, the foxy pirate commented with a smug grin. What do you mean? Luffy challenged him. We're totally gonna win. Ha! Another foxy pirate laughed. Not so fast. Look over there. Our boss is coming. Yeah? So what? Luffy questioned. What can he do? Our boss is like you, the second foxy pirate explained. He has devil fruit powers. Look out, guys. You've got company. And it's not the cutie wagon. On Ricky's warning, Nami turned and spotted Foxy running along the shore. What's he doing? Nami wondered. Foxy sat on top of Hamburg and held out his hand with his middle ring fingers touching his thumbs and his index and pinky fingers extended upward. The tips of his fingers glowed purple. Slow beam. Look out! He's firing a beam. A beam? Cool, Usopp exclaimed. Not cool, Nami snapped. It's coming right for us. The purple beam flew out and engulfed the barrel tiger before they could dodge. Whoosh. Manda surged through the finish line and pulled the cutie wagon after him. And the winner is the cutie wagon. Yeah! The foxy pirates cheered as Portia crossed the finish line. Capote was still unconscious. Portia's the hero of the race. That's our idol. Thanks everyone. Portia gushed as she waved to her adoring crew. It's only natural I won. Looks like we're about to get a new crew member. A foxy pirate boasted. There's no one that can beat the foxy pirates. Another foxy pirate bragged. We always win. Nami, Usopp, and Robin panted just short of the finish line. Fee-fay-fa-fay. Foxy laughed. Now you guys have to pay up. We're taking one of your crew. Are you guys alright? Chopper asked when the Barrel Tiger crew had been brought ashore. Is everybody okay? We're alright, Robin confirmed. What the heck happened out there? Luffy asked. I'd like to know the same thing, Nami answered. We'd all like to know what happened, Usopp added. Did we really lose somehow? Swoosh. Chirp Chirp swooped down, and Ricky hopped off of the Super Sparrow's back. Foxy hit you guys with that beam and you just slowed down, Ricky explained. Portia passed you while you were basically standing still 5 feet away from the finish line. Fee-fay-fa-fef. Foxy laughed as he strutted over to the Straw Hats. That's what happens when anything get hits with my slow-mo photons. What did you do to Nami's team, you smug bastard? Sanji snarled. What's a slow-mo photon? Luffy asked. They are particles unlike any other known to modern science, Foxy answered. He held off his hands in the familiar pose and his fingertips glowed purple. Whatever this light touches, be it an animal, a liquid, a solid or even a gas, will lose a fixed amount of its velocity while simultaneously losing all its other energy. You're dumb, Luffy said. That makes no sense at all. He called me dumb, Foxy moped and cried. Oh sir, are you okay? Portia gushed as she ran over and passed Foxy on the back. Luffy, he ate a devil fruit, Ricky told him. He can make beams out of slow-mo photons which slow down everything that they touch. Oh, that makes sense, Luffy replied. Why didn't he just say that from the beginning? No, it doesn't, Nami snapped. Something like that is impossible. Have you ever known a devil fruit to make sense? Ricky pointed out. This is the grand line. Impossible things happen here all the time. Now I'm a slow-motion man. Foxy bragged, observe. Bang! Hamburg fired a bazooka at Foxy from nearby. Foxy held out his hand and fired a purple beam of slow-mo photons at the approaching cannonball. Whoosh! The cannonball slowed to a near stop and hung in the air as it slowly drifted forward. Gah! A floating cannonball! Usopp gasped. The slow beam, Foxy stated. Fei. The effect lasts about 30 seconds. After that time, the object will regain its original speed as if nothing ever happened. Fei. 25-26, Ricky quietly counted. Can't believe your eyes, I take it. Foxy continued to boast as the cannonball drifted in front of his face. 30. The cannonball regained its original speed and impacted with Foxy's long nose. KBOM. Boss. Oh no! Portia gasped. Puh. Hamburg laughed. He was too caught up in showing off. So that's why we didn't win the race, Usopp realized. And that explains why they're so overly confident about these games, Sanji noted. What a joke of a devil fruit power. It doesn't matter, Portia snapped. You guys lost. You know all the rules and you agreed to all the terms. Foxy recovered from the explosion and popped back up. That's right. The donut race is over. And we are the winners. Hee, Portia giggled. Too bad for you guys. Hey you! Ida Mimizu stomped over to the Straw Hats. Gimme back my bird. Ricky shrugged. I hate birds anyway. And that concludes round 1. Ida Mimizu announced on stage. Now we shall commence with the awarding of the pirate. The winning captain will select a member of the opposing crew. Fifef. Foxy laughed as he strutted to the front of the stage. The Straw Hats scowled as they stared up at Foxy. Most of them. Zoro was still drinking. My first selection is none other than you. Foxy pointed at the 8 Straw Hat pirates. The Dr. Tony Chopper. Bring him to me at once. 2 Foxy pirates came over and grabbed Chopper. No, Chopper! Nami gasped. She turned and shoved Ricky. Do something. I can't, Ricky said. Those are the rules. We lost. He gets to pick one of our crew. The only thing we can do now is try to win him back in the next 2 rounds. Chopper was brought up to Foxy, who took great joy in hugging the adorable furry reindeer. Fei. Foxy laughed. He's such a rare creature. And even softer than I imagined. Oh boss. Portia gushed as she ran on stage. May I hold him? Please. Foxy passed Chopper off to Portia, who happily hugged the struggling reindeer to her chest. He's just so damn cute, Foxy exclaimed. And he's ours now. No. Chopper hollered as he struggled against Portia's tight hold. Chopper! Luffy called out. So that creep had his eye set on Chopper, huh? Sanji questioned. Well, I suppose he is among the rarest of rare animals. He's one of a kind, Ricky admitted. Or maybe he collects cute things, Nami suggested. You know, I wouldn't rule out a fur fetish, Robin stated. Why does it even matter? Usopp yelled. Focus, people. That freak over there just took our friend. You guys, Chopper whimpered as he was placed in a chair on stage. Foxy walked over and smirked down at him. All right, Dr. Chopper. Enough of all that. You're on my crew now. You need to pledge your loyalty to me. And you can start by putting on this mask. Foxy reached out and put a slanted-eyed Foxy mask on Chopper's face. You guys, Chopper sobbed. I'm so sorry that we lost Chopper. Usopp cried into his arm. We did our best. Farewell. Fei. Foxy laughed. He is truly a rarity. Our very own talking reindeer. Portia gushed. He's so amazing. Haha. We're gonna get along great. A Foxy pirate laughed as he put a set of split Foxy ears on top of Chopper's hat. Here. Welcome aboard, another Foxy pirate said to Chopper. You guys. Chopper shouted as he jumped up in his chair. Tears and snot ran down his furry face. Listen. I only went out to sea because of you. I won't. No. I refuse. Ricky invited me. I set sail to be one of Luffy's Straw Hats. I won't go with them. Please. No. I am the ship's doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates, Tony Chopper. I won't go. Thunk. Zoro slammed down his bottle of grog. Quit your belly-aching, Chopper, the swordsman snapped. It's disgraceful. Zoro, Usopp mumbled. You made the choice to set sail as a pirate, Zoro stated. Only you? And now you have to live with the consequences of that decision. We agreed to the terms of this game. You, Usopp, and everyone else did the best that they could. Not one pirate worth his salt is gonna sympathize with those tears. Zoro stood up and stared at Chopper. A man would suck it up and quietly watch the rest of this game. What's wrong with you? Nami berated him. Don't you know how he must be feeling? Sniff. Sniff. Chopper wiped away his tears and brushed the snot away from his blue nose. Then he sat back down in his chair. Boil me or cook me alive, Chopper growled. Give me your worst, you bastards. Chopper, Nami gasped. Atta boy, Zoro praised the reindeer. That swordsman is totally awesome, one of the foxy pirates exclaimed. Yeah, you teach him a lesson, Zoro, Usopp cheered. Hey boss, another foxy pirate called out. Let's take him next. That was so inspirational I can't stop crying, another foxy pirate confessed. Ricky grinned at Zoro, then looked over at Chopper. Don't worry, Chopper. I'm in round 2. I'm not gonna let these jerks keep my little brother for long. Let's start the second round. Right, Sanji agreed as he lit up a cigarette. We've still got 2 more rounds left of this. There's no way we're letting those jerks take our emergency food supply. Hey wait, wasn't Chopper supposed to be in the second round? Usopp asked. How can he compete if they took him? Good point, Robin remarked. Haha. A foxy pirate laughed. That's one of the most thrilling parts of the game. Remember the rules, you can't change your team's roster. No replacements allowed. Actually, Ricky spoke up, the rule is that we can't make a substitute unless we announce it beforehand. Ricky turned to Zoro. You're in. What? Ida Mimizu shouted from back up on Chirp Chirp. You didn't have any substitutes listed on your roster. Check it again, Ricky told him. The party organizer pulled out the Straw Hats roster. He scanned it to the bottom and spotted an asterisk and the words Roronoa Zoro as substitute. There's no way I missed this, Ida Mimizu insisted. You're all the way up there on your bird and you've had that roster with you this whole time, Ricky pointed out. How could I possibly have changed it? Hey, wasn't Ricky riding on that loud-mouthed guy's bird for the first round? Luffy asked. Sneaky bastard, Nami muttered. At least we've got our own fox to counter theirs. It's right there, that makes it official, Ricky stated. Zoro's joining me and Sanji for round 2. Fine. You're still not going to win. Ricky turned and grinned at Zoro and Sanji. Game on, guys. So that was your fallback plan, Zoro realized. Hey Curlybrow, you can sit this one out too. Shut up, Moss Head, Sanji snapped. We don't even really need you. Do you think Ricky will be able to get those two to work together? Usopp asked. If they want any chance to win, they'll have to, Nami resolved. The second round is the Groggy Ring, where the Straw Hat team of Ricky, Sanji, and substitute Zoro will be facing the undefeated Groggy Monsters. Thanks for watching this video. You really enjoy this video. Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow QPython for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.